The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go. Welcome to the Pat McAfee Show. I am not Pat McAfee, obviously. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat at his desk. He is on business out in the world somewhere today. Football! It's what we're talking about, Pat. What's going on, man? Obviously, the Houston Texans take on the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. 30-6 decisive victory. What do you think, man? How do you? Is it how you thought it would play out?
AJ, I just wanted to let you know the way I think is that you look fantastic.
Hell yeah,
Okay,
AJ.
you look phenomenal. You look great. And thank you for holding it down here as I'm out on business for the good of the program. Okay, for the good of the program. But I got a chance, obviously, to watch last night's game as I was en route. Starlink, shout out. We appreciate you so much for everything. But on that note, I think the reason why Starlink is going to be so good is because they got satellites everywhere. Okay, Elon's shooting these things up every day. They pump, 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 pump. We're sending satellites up there, so they're literally everywhere. It's like the Houston Texans defense. Okay, swarm. This swarm. We got a special work ethic. Okay, and then we have an attitude of relentlessness.
Yep.
And a mindset, I believe, is what SWARM stands for.
Yeah.
There's an E in there, too. They hide it. The E is hidden and silent. But the Houston Texans defense, I watched it live whenever they came and played against the Indianapolis Colts. And we talked about how they bring the boo birds. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans aren't going to boo a poor offensive performance early because they're used to it over there. The stat is absurd. Kevin, what's the stat on the amount of points early for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think it's 77 straight games now that they haven't scored more than 7 points in the first quarter.
Okay, 77 straight games. That's so long to think about not scoring more than 7 points in the first quarter. Obviously, that could be a Mike Tomlin thing where he's super conservative, but let's not give it too much away. Let's not turn the ball over. First quarter, we're just sparring to get to the second half anyways. But nonetheless, the Steelers fans understand that the games are going to start pretty boring on offense. They know it's not going to be great. But this Houston Texans defense made their offense look boring all night. I mean, it was literally a situation where if you think the Houston Texans defense is going to give up anything, you're wrong. And there was a couple plays early where maybe DK dropped a ball and they kind of slipped or they gave up some coverage and the Demon picked up a third down late, Adam Thielen and stuff like that. But the Houston Texans defense is just always there. They're always on top of you. And they seemingly, and I think Schrager tweeted last night about their defense coordinator, Burke, should be getting head coaching opportunities. Like, yes. I don't know how he does it in this entire thing. CJ was hurt for a portion. Obviously, you go to Dougie Mills, he plays some football for you. But the only thing that's been a constant is that this defense has just killed teams. They just killed teams. They came to Indianapolis. We could do a thing. And they didn't care. And they danced in our faces. And it's just like a never-ending pursuit of greatness with their defense. And yesterday I woke up thinking that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a long day against this defense because everybody's going to have a long day against this defense. And then I kind of talked myself into, oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long. They didn't even play it. That's how bad it was last night. I mean, AJ, you're talking about worst case scenario for Aaron Rodgers and that offense is having to play that Texans team in the wild card. And for Mike Tomlin, it's another playoff loss. That's 7 straight now. And Hey, it's bad over there, dude. But that Texans defense, we knew that they could do that. I don't know why we forgot about that when we all picked the Steelers. I think it's because we all thought maybe gunslinger Aaron Rodgers goes for another run here, knowing that the time is potentially short for him getting on the field. But that was never realistic, AJ, with the way that defense is.
No, I mean, just look at these stats. 3 takeaways, 2 defensive touchdowns. Also, C.J. Stroud turned the ball over 3 times, 2 fumbles and a pick. So the fact that you're able to win 30-6 when your offense has 3 turnovers, but you scored twice on defense, but it was more like, okay, if they're only bringing 4 most of the time, and they're getting 4-man pressure on Aaron all night, and if he does get rid of the ball, it's almost like a check down or a 3 or 4 yard route. And as D-Butt says, he is getting stapled to the ground as soon as you catch the ball against this Houston Texans defense.
They brought 2 there. I think they brought 2 there.
Yeah,
I think Nose was dropping back. It was just 2 ends. Maybe they had 3 covered or whatever. It was like, maybe not this play. There was a play I was watching where they brought 2 guys and they got home. 2 guys got home. And now, I'm not saying that Aaron had a perfect game and that their offense could have maybe been able to do well, but it's just like they make everybody terrible. That's what they do. But in the secondary, nobody's open ever. How are they able to do that? This seems like they're cheating. I honestly, they might be cheating, this Houston Texans defense, D-Bud.
Yeah, a lot of times we talk about defenses, we talk about exotics or lining up and tricking you, 4 guys over here, 3 guys, but they just line up and they do what they do week in and week out. It starts with the guys up front. Obviously, they got 2 unbelievable guys off the edge, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. They're phenomenal. But then on the back end, when I was doing the all-everything DB team, I said the entire secondary can be Texans with Kamari Lassiter, Stingley, Petrie, Bullock. Like, they're all phenomenal. Bullock, he ended the game with a pick 6, but his defensive front, if you can't do anything, if you can't block them up front, you will have no success on offense. There's going to be a few opportunities to beat this defense, and you better capitalize on it. Once DK dropped that potential touchdown, that deep ball, you kind of knew it was over right there. And you mentioned C.J. Stroud. He had a tough night with snaps and all type of shit. But this defense, man, this is a championship defense that can for sure carry this team to a Super Bowl.
They're mean, they're big, they're fast, they're smart, they're physical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything you want from a defense that can maybe win a Super Bowl. And last year, Age, we saw the run game and a great defense, but the run game really carried the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that was the superstar conversation about the Philadelphia Eagles. Granted, their defense was phenomenal as well. But this team, if they were to go on a run, it would be like Texans defense won that Super Bowl. It'd go back to like Baltimore, with whenever Trent was the quarterback. Shout out to him going back to Lipscomb Academy. We hope the Mustangs have a great season.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
We hope the Mustangs have it. We love that Mustangs team down there in Nashville. But it's like this would be first time, long time where it's like defense carries the way. And they could definitely do it, H. This defense, I think, after what we just watched last night, what we've been watching all season with them, they could go win a Super Bowl. They could beat anybody. Josh Allen, obviously, and I mean, this goes into a full AFC conversation, which I guess we should slow down. But that defense can make anybody look terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just a real deal. So if on the other side you can do a little bit, which we know CJ can, we all have an immense amount of faith in him. Nico going out, obviously tough for them last night. That's not good. But I like the Texans more and more in tone. You have to hate what happened yet again to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now all eyes go directly to Christian Kirk, obviously incredible game. All questions go to, is Tomlin getting a TV?
Yeah.
D-Bot, did you hear that? That's what Errol's saying.
I did hear that.
This way.
I did hear that. When you lose 7 straight, especially at a franchise like that, we saw what happened with Harbaugh. That is the question, and it's a fair question at this point. Hey, has the message run stale? Do you need something new? Do you need some new blood? I'm sure Tone has some strong feelings on that.
Yeah, and not just 7 straight, like ass beatings.
Yeah, this is bad.
They've all been.
You're saying all of them?
Yes, all of them have been.
106 points.
All of the closest one was the 7th farthest one away. It was Ben, I believe. I can't remember who it was against. Patriots in the AFC.
Yeah, it was New England.
There it is. Patriots in the AFC Championship game with Killer Bees. So that's a long time ago. And last night, 88 yards on the first 2 drives, getting some gashes here. I was feeling really good, up 3-0. And then I actually tweeted right before the game, okay, there's only one way this game's going to go. It's going to be a Steelers win, and it's going to be so ugly. Everyone's going to be so mad. And that's how it was going.
That's what it felt like the whole
And that's
time
how
to
it was
me.
going. 7-6 at halftime. They come out. They drive down to start the third quarter. Interception in the red zone. I'm like, oh, this is going perfect. And then they hit that 51-yard field goal to make it 10-6. And I was like, this game's over. The Steelers are not scoring again. They're not scoring a touchdown for sure. As soon as that ball went through, I was like, oh, game's over. That's it. Because even if CJ gives us one in the red zone, we're not scoring a touchdown. Sure, we'll kick a field goal to make it 10-9. But no, I mean, it was ugly. Like, the last 4 or 5 games, run defense has been unbelievable. And you go up against the 29th ranked rush offense in the NFL, they forgot how to do that last night. Woody Marks went over 100. Nick Chubb was running over everybody. That was ugly. The offensive line, who has actually been pretty good all year. Now, I know it's an incredible defensive line, but they had no idea what they were doing last night. Pat Freiermuth, who's probably the second best weapon on offense, they don't even put him on the field. I don't know. But here, we're going to sign up for it again next year. We're going to run back the same exact lineups, same exact coaching staff, and we're going to do it again. And I'll see you here on this day next year after another 25-point playoff loss.
Okay, so that means that Aaron Rodgers coming back is what you just said there. If you're going to run it back with the same group, same crew, same staff, that means Aaron's coming back. I don't know, AJ, you know him a lot better than us, obviously. Definitely have talked to him more recently than us, I'd assume. Him saying, I don't want to make a decision in our emotions or whatever. In the middle, after his press conference, he said, I don't want to make that type of decision whenever there's this much emotion or something. I forget how he exactly worded it. But that means that he certainly is questioning it, in my eyes, because I would have assumed that, now granted, after how that game goes, maybe that changes his mind. 30-6, I can't go out like this. Yeah, right. I can't do this. And then how about the camera person sending his way? This is potentially his last walk-off, little red
the swim move,
red penny there. Please, excuse me. Walking off field, Burt Lawton right behind him. Legendary Yinzer, obviously Pittsburgh PR guy. But, like, it feels like he doesn't know. I wonder when that started happening, because I think everybody just kind of assumed this year was going to be his off into the sunset year. And then him saying even afterwards, like, I'm not going to make that decision now. It's like, oh, okay. So he's certain I'm not going to make any emotional decisions. That would have been easy for me to say the first time. I got it wrong 5 times. But, like, feels like he doesn't know that, right, AJ? Is that kind of like what I should take from that?
Isn't that how it's kind of been the last couple years, I guess? I don't know. Did we all just assume this was his last year? What did he say going into this season? Did he say, like, yeah, this is probably it?
I think he told us that this was probably
he did.
Probably. He said probably. But then I don't know. Maybe he gets into Pittsburgh
he didn't
and
say
realizes he can still slang a little.
He didn't say probably. Connor asked him, and he basically said, like, the way my contract is set up, if you look at this, like, yeah, this is going to be my last year. And even last night, like, the NFL Twitter account tweeted out just legend at Aaron Rodgers, and then they did the whole, steady cam on ESPN following him into the locker room. It's almost like they're trying to, like, make the decision for him. Yeah. Like, this was your last game, and we're trying to kind of give you a hero send-off, even though the game obviously wasn't much of a hero send-off.
Okay, so shout out to the toxic table, by the way. Connor asking the question. Ty remembering it. That's good journalism. And hey, to all of the journalists that are a little fired up right now, we'll see who history says is more accurate, with their take on how this whole situation is going to unfold. Like 10 years from now, let's talk about it. But on that note, I appreciate all your incredibly hard work for the good of sport. But yeah, him saying that he's pretty sure. Put that back up, please, as we keep it there. I'm pretty sure this is my last season, and that's why we did the 1-year deal. I've played 20 years, and I've enjoyed it. Okay, there's no better way to finish it than with Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so let's break down his words. His words matter, especially whenever you're talking to Aaron Rodgers. Super, super, super sophisticated human being. I'm pretty sure there. And Gumpy, who posts these live clips on X, shout out Gumps, he has to be very diligent with the actual quotes. Boy, we've gotten into it a little bit. Missing word a little bit. Actual video of actual quote, but on X, the quote had like 2 words missing, missed maybe the point. We get text from person that videos about, like, I didn't say that. It's like, no, yeah, you didn't say that. What are you talking about? And they're like, why the hell does this say that? I said, okay, we're sorry we did that. So words are normally very accurate in these particular tweets. Right, Gumpy? I don't want to speak for you, but that's a huge part of the entire thing.
Absolutely, brother.
We don't have to give away the names, but there have been people that have been certainly hot with the entire situation. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, asked for tweets to actually be taken down that were kind of word for word what they said, but
say kind of word for word or word?
No, they were word for word. But if somebody got something wrong, that happens.
One person in general does
it. What's it rhyme with? What's the name?
I'm not going to do
that. Happens to the best of us, Hogger.
They didn't say you misquoted me. They said I just don't like
someone
what
who's
I
on
said.
The program pretty regularly.
AJ, I have to like, me having to have that conversation with Gumpy was awesome. Like, hey, dude, so this is what person's saying. And Gumpy goes, that's what they said. And I'm like, are you sure? And then he pulls it up, runs it in my ear. Is that not what he said? He's what he said. It's like he did say that. So then I got to call person back and say like, hey, it's what you said though. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I know, but I didn't want it to say it like that. I was like, okay,
that's on you.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who that's on. I don't know who that's on. But nonetheless, we try to get everything up as accurately as possible, as quick as possible, because we appreciate the hell out of the people that maybe can't watch the entire show and are scrolling along, and not dooms scrolling, but hopefully just scrolling along with life. So we try to get as accurate as possible. But anyways, I'm pretty sure. Okay, right there, right, Age. That's what you're basically saying.
That's almost like probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end, there's no better way to finish it than with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like, okay, so back with the Steelers, and if that's the case, is what Tone said, right, where they run it back, where Tomlin goes, all right, this will be my last year. And Aaron goes, this will be my last year, and it will be a retirement year. They had 1 year to kind of figure out what life was like together. 1 year to kind of put these two first ballot Hall of Famers into the same building together, see how they operate, how a Tomlin building operates, how an Aaron Rodgers operation operates. And then obviously Artie Smith, and he's not going to be getting a lot of head coaching opportunities in this particular cycle. He gets another year in this entire thing. And then they say, guess what? This is it. Okay? We're oh mama in right now. This is the oh mama year. Going in the fourth quarter. This is the last one. And then you guys get a chance to celebrate these two careers while potentially having your best season. Tone, you wouldn't like that?
Yeah. If I had to predict this thing, that'll be year 20 for Mike Tomlin, and I believe that is the last year of his current contract. I believe it's the last year of Cam Hayward's contract. Aaron doing it one more year. Those three walk off together every single game. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, just logistically too, though, who do they have in line? Will Howard's there. But
so there are
the quarterback position.
So
look like?
There is respectfully one quarterback coming out of this draft, and it's Mendoza. Okay, he's not falling to 21. So you're not going to probably get a quarterback that's going to make a difference in the draft.
Any free agents?
Ty and I just looked at the free agent market. It's Malik Willis and nothing after that.
He's a good ball player.
So yeah, he's played 5 games or whatever. So yes, either you do the
Tyler Murray might be available.
True. Tua might be available too. Do you want to go that
route?
No
clear path. Like if there was a young,
they don't seem like
young
Pittsburgh
stud
guys
that was like ready to take the reins as a starter, it'd be a much different story right now.
But yeah, and Will was what, a 6th round pick. So and are the Steelers going to? I would love to see Will for a year just to see what he has, and see what happens or whatever. But I don't think that team's going to do that. So no, I would not be surprised at all if those two are back for next season and we run this back one more time. Nice little retirement.
Let's go, Mama year. Oh my God.
Yeah. When did he sign last year?
Aaron?
Yeah, remember Pittsburgh, everyone was all pissed off about because he was whatever going on. I would imagine
it was a long time.
Whatever decision is made, it's going to happen sometime much sooner than last year.
Oh, you think
right?
You think so?
I don't know.
Is that what you think, Age?
I would think so, yes.
Before the draft?
I would assume before the draft something happens, right?
Hey, now the other conversation in there is Tomlin.
Yeah.
Okay?
Does he want to?
Coach Tomlin, as somebody that was in the Pittsburgh area very frequently with a lot of Yinzers during this Tomlin era. Okay, I don't want to act like I'm the authority on this. I'm certainly not there day to day and haven't been. But just, experiencing Yinzers, experience Coach Tomlin while also being in the league and all that type of stuff. Like, there's a lot of, I feel like I have pretty good say or pretty good feel on it all. Like, Tomlin is going to be a guy that's going to be welcomed in Pittsburgh everywhere forever. That guy would go to Penguins games, go to Pirates games, go to charity stuff. Like, I think he really took on the I should be Yinzer. Mm-hmm. His kids obviously through Pittsburgh. He's been there a long ass time. 19 years is a long, long time in one city, especially in a football town like Pittsburgh. But if he has a TV deal in his back pocket, like Mike Florio's potentially alluding to, Pro Football Talks Mike Florio, also Pittsburgh Steeler fan from West Virginia, knows the area pretty well. I'm not saying he's plugged in with Coach Tomlin, but Jay Glazer, who we know is plugged in with Coach Tomlin, whenever he was talking about jobs going into Week 18 of the NFL season, he said, what did he say, Jason Glazer? What did he say exactly about if he either wants to continue to coach for the Steelers, he can kind of make that decision, or maybe he wants to venture into TV? And I forget how it was exactly said.
Yeah, it was basically something along the lines of, He's going to make that decision on his own. The Steelers are not going to fire him, so if he wants to coach another year, he will be able to coach. But he also does have a potential lucrative TV career that he can fall back on as soon as next year, maybe with, me and the boys at Fox.
Okay, I don't think Jay alluded to Fox, but I think everybody else kind of assumed.
Yes.
No, he's definitely talking about Jay Glazer knowing that. But it's not just Fox. I mean, Netflix is building a sports department, right? They paid L. Congrats to L, by the way.
Honnold, January 23rd, Honnold's climbing the skyscraper.
Yep.
Exactly. And Netflix is getting more and more in sports. Remember, they were doing like the gimmicky tennis and like the gimmicky shit. Now they're like trying to get into actual sports on a regular basis. I think WWE kind of moved them in that direction. Now we get the Christmas games. We assume there's only going to be more and more there, especially if they're hiring full-time Netflix sports department. Congrats to L. We're big fans there. But Netflix is going to want to get in. Prime's going to want to get in. YouTube's getting in. ESPN, obviously, still very much involved. They just bought Sunday tickets, so they got a lot of NFL interest. Fox always going to. CBS always going to. It's like there's a lot of NFL jobs. And we would like to thank the NFL for blessing us all with a profession for sure. But there's a lot of places that could give a lot of money to Coach Tomlin, man. We've all seen him on a microphone. The dude's never lost in front of a microphone. Ever. I've never seen a bad session from Mike Tomlin. Always some form of entertainment. Missoula's catching up, maybe, though. Missoula.
Illegal screen.
What he did last night, Connor.
Illegal screen.
That was outrageous. What was that? Johnny Furphy? Who hit the illegal screen? What was he so upset? I saw the Pacers beat the Celtics last night.
Yeah, it was Siakam. Siakam set the screen, then got the ball back, and then, layup game winner. But it was an illegal screen. It's impossible to argue with. Right here. Here it comes. Yep. This is after it. But still, yeah, that's how he got the ball. It's ridiculous.
Spicy
Back to house kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't want to say it's the Celtics, but I will say Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton
Illegal.
from what, that right there?
Illegal screen right there, yeah. That's illegal.
I don't know.
That's illegal. That's an illegal screen.
Late
All right?
fourth quarter.
Learn the rules.
Wow.
That's what we did the whole press conference for?
He's damn near dislocated his hip.
Maybe we don't crown Missoula for that.
I like Missoula a lot. He's a West Virginia guy. They got West Virginia guys on their staff.
Sounds like he's pouting.
Rules are rules,
Sounds
guys.
like he's pouting.
Grow up.
Dude, that's a crazy play for Missoula to do that. That's a big decision to do that press conference. Like, just every answer is going to be illegal screen. I love that there was one point where I think one of them thought they were going to crack him. Are you only going to say that? And he sits. Illegal screen. Like, yes. Okay, that was awesome. That was crazy. It was against the Pacers this early in the season with that particular play. Shout out to Joe Mazzola. But Tomlin, anytime he's on a microphone, it's awesome. The amount of one-liners he has. I mean, his wife, who obviously another incredible citizen of Pittsburgh, has done a lot of charity stuff in Pittsburgh, has done a lot of incredible stuff. She's built like a merch brand because I think she's a fashion designer of sorts.
Yep.
She built a merch brand around like a lot of his one-liners. So think about him on TV with one-line. I mean, the television entertainment industry is going to be very kind to Mike Tomlin. Very kind to Mike Tomlin.
Can I ask you three a question?
Okay.
Yeah.
So no one has pushed back on saying on me saying that Mike Tomlin's going to be back next year. What other coach in the history of the NFL or professional sports, when you haven't won a playoff game in 9 years and you've lost 7 straight playoff games, so let's say it's playoff series in another sport, would have the ability to come back, the decision to come back, and losing like that every single year? Am I taking crazy pills?
I mean, it's a good question, but it's one of one. That still is an organization. Obviously, Mike Tomlin and his record throughout, no losing seasons and all these different things. But yeah, how many coaches have you guys had in the last one?
3.
Yeah, so I mean that's
Three
kind
Different place.
Three
kind of
since
your answer
Pittsburgh,
right there.
especially.
Yeah.
3 since 69.
It's 1-1.
Yeah, in different
right
sport, but we just talked about basketball. Like, Tom Thibodeau went to the conference finals for the Knicks and then got fired after they lost to the Pacers. So it does feel like it is a
Schottenheimer went 14-2 ago.
Exactly. So you're talking about franchises, sports franchises.
Yes.
You put the Pittsburgh Steelers up here, and the New York Knicks are probably down here as far as like the standard of how you do things, how you do. And I understand it from a fan's point of view. Like, you want a new coach, you want a new voice.
Want to win, man.
I mean, you want to win. How many? Six championships?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough. I expect, especially going out like that, on that stage, you expect a change, but what we know from the Steelers and their history, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow up here now. Who would you take? Because you talk about how many coaches since when?
3 since 69.
19.
Yeah, 19.
That's insane.
Yeah, we're pretty
McCarthy.
good.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, I guess, the only really answer. It's like, who has the ability at this point that you could forecast? Because Tomlin was young when he got that. 32?
Yep.
Yeah, he was super young, and I think he was at the Vikings as a DC for like a year.
Yeah,
maybe?
year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that
He was 32, I think.
and
I think he was 32 years old.
And you talk about they do love young because Kyler was super young when he got hired as well. But you talk about winning in front of people in a microphone. Like, no one thought he was going to get that job when they interviewed him, and he did. And it's been an incredible run. But, yes, to your point, who is out there? Great question.
Yeah, I don't know who you would. Mike McCarthy going back to Pittsburgh. He could. How old's Mike McCarthy? Football has changed. Signetti no longer on the high dive because basically everybody has said that's not real. But if you're trying to hire a coach in football, feels like I'd at least try to snoop. Not that he wants to. We have not talked to him. I actually texted him last week before the Peach Bowl something, and he still has yet to respond. So
Locked in.
I think he's locked in. His boys are deleting apps, social media apps from the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like, the Indiana football team is locked in, we'll say completely. So I'm not saying Signetti is saying this, and we don't even know his agent. I think he just has a lawyer from my understanding of how that last deal went down. I don't know if he has an agent in this entire thing. So I don't even know if that thought is even crossed his mind. He's a king in Bloomington forever. He'll have a statue. He's got a nice house. They treat him well. His wife, I think he loves the place. I think he is a college football coach. I think that is what he is. Now, granted, does he want to be able to prove that he could also do it at the NFL? Maybe. Like there's a couple different trains of thought there, but I think he just stays in Indiana forever, especially with the new deal that he has where basically it bumps up anytime it goes. So let's take him out of the picture. Harbaugh and the Giants feel like that's really heating up, right? Then you have dinner at Mara's house, and Mara watched Is This Thing On in Harbaugh's movie. What was it? So Giants executive Chris Mara told The Athletic that he met John Harbaugh for lunch Sunday and had an informal meeting at the coach's house. People on both sides say Harbaugh remains very interested in Giants job. Hey, great journalism, Ian O'Connor.
Good work.
Hell yeah.
Now, granted, could we have found that out other ways? Potentially, but we appreciate you finding it out. If we had to, we probably could have. But on that note, Harbaugh and the Giants feel like that's a thing. I feel like the Giants is considered one of those big jobs, by coaches. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, big brand, but also for like coaches, it feels like it's a bigger job. I don't know why, but I think like in college, there's always jobs that open up where coaches go, that's a job. LSU, we just watched it. Michigan's one of those places. Like there's some of these places that are held in higher regard. Feels like the New York Giants are. And do you think it is just because of brand? What do you think it is?
Brand, location.
Jackson Dart, I think he would like it. Well, I mean, in general, I think for a reason why Harbaugh would like it, I think he loves the potential in Jackson Dart and what he's done.
Mm-hmm. The history, though, is just like the history of it all.
Yeah, history, brand, location, championships, all.
And right now, is that much better than the Jets brand? The Giants over the Jets?
Same.
Yeah.
The Jets are below the Knicks on D-But's list.
I'm just asking the question.
It's true.
Yeah, well, we all knew the answer. Though. You knew the answer, too. As those words were coming out of your mouth, you knew the answer for that. But it's like, it feels like Harbaugh's probably going to the Giants. It feels like that is at least something. Now, maybe it's Atlanta as well. But Mike McCarthy, I think as this cycle and interview process goes on, I think he's going to do well with his jolliness, his youthful spirit, his deep thinking, and his resume when they start looking at the numbers. I think there's going to be a good argument for the nerds to kind of say, hey, he could be a guy. But Con Man, you texted me something this morning. It's a pretty good point. A lot of these hirings and things like that are about to be completely changed whenever these teams that are still in it, all their assistants and coordinators with no clear front runner other than Harbaugh. The coordinators that are still in this are obviously going to be highly, highly sought after. I think McDaniels is the only guy we know that'll probably stay in New England, even if he's offered the opportunity, man.
Yeah, bingo. Like the Patriots and the Bears are the two teams that don't really have any, convos around their coordinators going other places. But if you do go from team to team with those, last 6, and I guess you could say Buffalo with Joe Brady maybe kind of off the table, but Sam Fran, Saleh is a hot name, kind of goes to the Jets' point about how big of a dumpster fire that place is because he's getting jobs immediately, at least, interviews. Kubiak with Seattle, he is also kind of the young, hot, offensive minded, feels like in this cycle. Shula with the Rams, he is a guy that everybody seems to basically dub him as the next, defensive guy. I know the Broncos as well are getting some with Vance Joseph, but it does feel as though aside from Harbaugh, all these teams, at least the teams that are looking for head coaches, are going to be looking for guys from these, final 8. I know for the Patriots, Zach Core, the insider linebackers coach who's now become the DC, has kind of become a hot ticket over the last couple weeks. Burke, you guys mentioned with the Texans, has become one of those guys like, hey, why aren't we giving the DC of the best defense more interviews? Kind of makes a lot of sense. But aside from Harbaugh, all those teams should wait. Like, what happens if down the stretch, for instance, Seattle, like Kubiak and the Seahawks defense is the conversation. But what if Kubiak and the Seattle Seahawks offense becomes this unbelievable thing? And then you think, if you're the Giants, sure, Harbaugh, of course, but do you not think Kubiak could come in and kind of guide Jackson Dart? Like, there are so many, things that still have to happen, and that might be the reason that all this is delayed for so long too. Like last year, Ben Johnson and Vrabel, they were slated, they were getting jobs at this point. Like, it's January 13th. We knew January 13th, 2025. Like, 2 of the jobs that are open are going to those 2 guys. Now Harbaugh, you could say, is that one guy that's definitely slated for one of these jobs. The Giants, we all can see, but for all those other places, and there's a lot of jobs open, it feels like they're going to come from these final 8 teams.
AJ, I mean, there's a chance that there was a dumping situation at the house with Mara and Harbaugh. There's a chance.
It's happened
seen
before.
It in the past.
Yeah, like
We've seen
Ursay
it in the
McDaniels.
Well, we don't know what all went down. We do know weak pipes up there in Massachusetts.
Well,
Jim Irsay just tried to drop a hog downer, and
can't flush towels. Okay.
Well, listen, he wipes his butt with towels. Rest in peace, Jim Irsay. He earned that. Okay,
Yep.
so
That's right.
we love
Respect.
that man. But we don't know. I am bummed out. I never got to ask him his side of that story.
Yes.
Oh my God, him telling that story would have been. Barnes, what do you want me to do? There's nothing.
Didn't have any toilet paper.
No wipes.
This guy, I almost didn't want to give him the job, brother, because he didn't have toilet paper. That would have been single ply. That's a bad decision. I would have loved to hear like his side of it all. But maybe Mara in the Harbaugh meeting doesn't go as well as we're just kind of reading this and thinking this, and Giants fans are assuming that it is, as we all are. So let's say he's on the market. You got 8 jobs open. Okay, that's a quarter of the league. And how many coaches do we have to hire these people? I'm very fascinated by it. Like Liam Cohen came out of nowhere last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Came out of nowhere. Late hire. We didn't really know him. And there was a worry that he wasn't. Who are these people going to hire? That's like the Steelers. They're just passing around these head coaches. Yeah. McDaniel might get a job. Stefanski's going to get a job. Harbaugh's going to get a job. It's like, okay. So it didn't work. These guys just got fired at the last place. But it'll work in this building. It's also fascinating right now because I think back to Carly, Kalen, and Casey, the big 3 of the Indianapolis Colts, deciding to stick around with Shane and Ballard. And I don't know what the GM front is. Who was the guy that just got hired in Miami?
John Eric Sullivan.
Green Bay.
Congrats to him. We assume he's going to be great. He's out of the Packers organization, going down to the Dolphins. Now, I do have a wonder if you can win in Miami with all the distractions and stuff. An entire football team's bigger than a basketball team. You got 50-some guys that have to stay locked in. Miami's got a lot of distractions. Maybe John Eric will be able to find the guys that can go ahead and navigate that entire thing. They got to get like a BYU team down there somehow. And I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be possible. That's my personal thoughts on it all. So, like, in the front office thing, we never know who's going to get the jobs because these people are kind of just, like, unassuming, not knowing people. But the head coaching stuff, normally we know the people a little bit. Liam, we didn't know it all. He's done great. It's like if the Colts would have moved on from Ballard, I think we would have found somebody that we don't know, and they would have said, this guy's super genius. He was there whenever or some good player was drafted. It's like, well, was he sitting at the table or was he sitting in in the seats over there. I would like to know, is he actually listening to the decision or making the decision? These are all decisions that people have to make. The coaching one, though, like Shane Steichen, hey, Debo, I think we got a guy. I think Shane Steichen right now, if he was available, I think he would get head coaching opportunities. I think Shane Steichen would get head coaching opportunities right now. That makes me wonder. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Shane a lot. We saw what he did with a healthy Daniel Jones this year. They were off to a historic start. I think he was great. There is a name that's kind of been coming up more and more often on the offensive side of things. We're all looking for that next offensive super genius, and a lot of these guys have been connected to McVay over the years. Guy Nate Shieldhouse, pass game coordinator. I believe he's like early 30s, maybe 34, 35 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe he's already getting some requests.
Next big guy.
Yeah,
Shieldhouse.
Yeah, he's pass game coordinator out there in L.A.
Yeah.
Nate Shieldhouse.
Okay, so coordinator, L.A. had Stoner, right? They just got Stoner.
Yeah.
And now they got Shieldhouse.
Yeah.
Liam was there a couple years ago before he, went.
Shieldhouse?
Yeah, so he's the next hot offensive name.
AJ, you said yup. Like you knew who he was.
I just saw the story. They just did a whole thing on him about how he's like the next up-and-comer rising through the ranks, like offensive guru guy that has been grinding and cutting his teeth, where you should cut your teeth. Like if a country music star cuts their teeth in Nashville, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah, but if you're from Texas, I think that's pretty south too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Country.
He was with Matt Campbell for a long time at Iowa State. He was the quarterbacks coach. That's what they said. Like his development of Brock Purdy and then Rocco Beck. Like he was there for a decent amount of time. But yeah, he's kind of the belle of the ball right now.
Good for him, man. Good for a lot of coaching jobs open, and I guess somebody will hit somewhere, but a lot of these aren't going to work.
There was also a report earlier. Remember when there was a report that like the Steelers were kind of looking at people just in case Tomlin decided to leave, and I believe Marcus Freeman was one of them as well. I would not be upset with Marcus Freeman either.
Okay, Marcus Freeman, I think he's getting a lot of NFL looks. I've heard a rumor of what he was offered to coach somewhere.
Ooh.
The amount of money.
That was a lot, huh?
And he turned it down, you're saying?
The rumor. I mean, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's accurate, but felt like it came from a pretty accurate source who would know it. But like I was told he was offered a king's ransom. I heard he was offered a king's ransom to go coach somewhere, and he didn't make that decision. Now, is that just somebody from somewhere else trying to feed that info to get to, you never know where things are coming from, but it sounds like Marcus Freeman is very committed to Notre Dame as a whole. And then you think about Midwest, teams and who represents. That Green Bay Packers situation is interesting, AJ. Now, what is policy going to be on extending a head coach who has an incredible winning record? A coach who, if he was to hit that coach's pool right there that we showed, he'd be getting he'd get a job literally the next day. It'd be like a Harbaugh situation, but probably even quicker. I think it'd be even quicker because he's younger and all that type of stuff. But it feels like the Green Bay faithful are out on him. Who are they going to hire if you guys fire? Have you thought about that, Ty Schmidt? Who are you guys going to hire? Mike McCarthy? Harbaugh?
Bring him home.
Bring him back.
I guess those would be the two options.
Bring him home.
Who would you guys hire if you moved on from LaFleur? And do you think that you guys inevitably end up moving on from LaFleur? It's an interesting situation over there with that contract and hey, AJ, quick before Ty gives this answer here.
Yeah.
Am I out of my mind for thinking like the coach's contract's already slated? This is what it is. This is what you're making, and you don't have an owner. So it's not like you have to debate with the owner for the amount of money. You have a vault of money, right? It's like, this is what is required to pay this person. This is what we have to pay. We have to justify it to a committee, I think. But you're able to get that, right? So like Schefter's saying the price they offered him is just much lower than what he could get on the market because of what contracts are. So are they saying they don't want him by doing that? Like, why wouldn't?
That's what it feels like to me, because you're right. It doesn't count against the cap. Like that, it's not. You're not working against the salary cap. It's like a normal team is, what is the owner willing to pay you? Because that would be money that the owner could keep as profit, I guess. But when it comes to Green Bay, it's different. They don't have an owner. So it's like, what are they willing to pay? But is it almost like, hey, yeah, we want to work out a deal with you, but we don't want to pay you too much? Like, it's not like a weird, it's not like a good faith. Is it in good faith negotiation? I don't get it.
We like you at $10 million, but we don't like you at $11 million. It's like, What's the cutoff number, and what does that mean? I don't think I've ever heard that.
You know what Shefty said? It was interesting when he said, like, he threw out the thing, like, well, what if they think, okay, maybe we can get a few draft picks back if they could, like, move Matt LaFleur? I'm thinking, like, if you don't want a guy and you can get something for him, then, yeah, obviously you'd want to do that, right? Like, if you don't really want to
Sean Payton went for a 1, right? Sean Payton went for a 1, I think?
Yeah, I think it was like a 1 and a 4 or something. I think they got 2 picks.
If you wanted to fire a guy or not re-sign him, that's ideal for a franchise. Like, hey, let me get some draft picks for this guy, send him away, and then we'll get to hire a new guy.
So Sean Payton, the Saints received the Broncos' 2023 first-round pick and their 2024 second-round pick.
Damn, that's a lot.
And the Broncos got Payton and a third-round pick from the Saints.
Oh,
Interesting. Hey, Ty, now your thoughts on all that, because these coaching jobs, somebody would potentially give you guys a 1 for Matt LaFleur with how much he would be wanted in the market. Like, what is your thoughts on it as we sit today, a couple of days removed from another loss out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because the big thing is like you said, you can't really fire him and just assume, hey, we're gonna go hire John Harbaugh, because if you do let him go and then you don't get Harbaugh, you're kind of shit out of luck. And the belief is that they are close enough with this roster and a healthy Micah Parsons and some of the other pieces they lost that they're close enough to win the Super Bowl. But I mean, at this point, and this is kind of crazy to say, like, I almost feel like even a guy like Kevin Stefanski, like, I think I would be. It feels like the proof is in the pudding with LaFleur. Like, he's an offensive guy. They need a head coach. He's very good. He's a very good play caller, but the special teams has sucked for a long time, and the defense is kind of just left to Jeff Hafley, where it's like, hey, you figure it out. Like, we've seen, like, a guy like Vrabel, like, you don't have to be a successful, great head coach by calling plays. You can be the CEO and kind of just have your hands in everything. And I mean, I don't think that's going to ever happen, but it's interesting. Like you said, like, it seems like the decision has kind of already been made. So I don't know why we're belaboring the point so much. Like, isn't it kind of just a done deal when they say, yeah, we'd like to work something out, obviously, but then that just means that they aren't comfortable going to the number that Matt LaFleur wants, and they're kind of just standing pat. And if that's the case, then yeah, like, he's not going to sign an extension. And why are we waiting when all these other potential candidates are going to get hired elsewhere?
Well, and that's the thing with the Patriots, and I feel like the Steelers and the Packers, and you can even throw the Eagles in there because they're having the conversation about Sirianni, even though that might just be strictly on the outside and not on the inside. Like, if you don't have a guy, like, there's no point to move on. Like, because if Harbaugh is going to the Giants and, like, the Packers can't get him, why, like, pivot? Whereas, like, if the Packers and the Steelers wait a year and then pull the trigger on a guy like Mike Vrabel, because the Patriots hired Gerard Mayo and then fired him after a year. Like, that never happens, especially with, like, the expectations of New England. New England wasn't supposed to be good. They're supposed to be one of the worst teams and then slowly get better with Gerard Mayo. They were really bad, and then instead of waiting, they had Mike Vrabel, and they said, you know what, let's get rid of Gerard Mayo. Who cares what everyone says? We'll bring in Vrabel, and then, you know, I think this thing will look different. They were right, but it feels like unless you have that guy, you're going to completely screw your franchise by getting rid of the dude that you currently have. Wow.
A Ring of Honor member who's an incredible football coach, just lingering around for everybody.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Like, if Bart Starr is going to run through that tunnel, then the Packers should pull the trigger and make that guy the head football coach. But unless not, like, it is so hard to find a guy who immediately knows the culture, who immediately knows how to turn the place around, who knows the ownership. Like, it's hard, I think, to look to not be comparative when it comes to, like, the head coaching cycle and bringing guys in, just because, like, the Patriots were so unique. The Jags, they were very, very unique as well. Like, it's so difficult to get that right. I luckily and very gratefully the Patriots did, but there is a very real world where the Patriots get rid of Gerard Mayo, they don't end up with Vrabel, and instead of winning 4 games, they win 1 game, and it's even worse, and you just completely tank your franchise.
It's a fascinating thing trying to develop a squad, hire the right people. I was so incredibly lucky that I have a chance to work with the great group of guys that I work with every single day. The best in the biz, boys. Thank you guys for putting me in a position to not have to hire anybody else ever.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for the job.
Hiring sucks, okay? It's really hard. Because if you bring in one shitbird, it can ruin everything that you have. Yep. Can ruin everything. And then if you bring in somebody that's not right for the job, like Connor just alluded to, you have to make another incredibly hard decision very quickly, and then you also have to restart. It's not easy finding the right person to lead a multi-billion-dollar organization. Joining us now is a man who was tasked with that multiple times. 47 years he spent coaching football in his life, multiple times Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, B.A. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great, baby.
Great to see you. You look wonderful. I love all the trophies behind you. I love the magic. You look incredible. I hope the golf game is going well. Let's talk about hiring coaches, because we're starting to have it's almost like we are getting to a point of reason and logic in coaches' minds as this conversation goes. Because like when Carly Ursay makes the decision, Carly, Kalen, and Casey make the decision to stay with Shane and Chris Ballard, everybody goes, what are we doing? Why are we doing this again? And then whenever the Steelers don't move on immediately from Tomlin, Steelers fans go, what are we doing? What are we doing? Packers, what are we doing? What are we doing? Who are they hiring, BA? How many of these coaches, okay, just in your eyes, you've been 47 years coaching football. How many of these coaches do you think are actually equipped to be head coaches? And is there like a trait that you've noticed that some good assistant coaches have that will make them great head coaches? And like, what do you think is the biggest indicator on somebody being good? Because there's not, obviously all these names we know, but like 8 head coaching jobs are up right now. There's going to be 8 next year. That's a quarter of the league. Like a lot of these guys are going to be ass head coaches, right? Isn't that kind of how we should look at it? How do they get it right? How do they get it wrong in your eyes whenever you're doing the hiring process?
Yeah, I think it's very, very interesting to see who owners listen to. You know, is it the general manager? Is it buddies that they have business with and sometimes have no damn clue what football is all about? You know, they just sell cars or something else. But, you know, it's hard. When you look at these young coordinators, some haven't called plays. They're just quarterback coaches. And now you're expecting them to be the head coach and the play caller. I think that's extremely, extremely hard for somebody to do the first year. Some guys like go call plays for a while and then become a head coach. But I think this cycle is going to be all about rehiring ex-head coaches. You know, because so many guys got fired a couple of years ago that went back and are doing great jobs as coordinators. Robert Saleh, a couple of guys like that. I think they're all the guys that are going to get these jobs this year.
Stefanski's getting an interview. McDaniel's getting an interview. Harbaugh's getting an interview, obviously. And McCarthy, already a head coach in there. Let's just to wrap up my question before AJ and the boys have more for you, especially about that Steelers game last night. Jeez. Always. No renegade, BA. No renegade. Ain't even play his shit. There's no mama. No, none. No mama. No mama last night.
They would have to play in the first 5 minutes.
It was a good first 5 minutes, boss. Okay, but before we get to all that, what is the trait of being a good head coach, you think? Like if you were hiring, let's say you were owner, you were the Glazer family, they call you. Instead of calling a car salesman around town that they're friends with or their golfing buddy, what would you say is required to be a good head coach? What is the trait that needs to happen?
I think first and foremost, the guy's leader of men. You know, it's not as a head coach, you're responsible for everybody, the staff, the entire building. So you have to be a leader of men and have a plan. Everybody said, what's your philosophy? I don't want to hear shit about philosophies. Give me your plan. How are you going to do it? Show me on paper. Talk to me about how you're going to get this done day to day and get all the way to the season and through it. So to me, it's a matter of experience. You know, I think you're high risk when you go out for guys that have no experience as being a head coach, or like I said, never calling plays, and all of a sudden you're a head coach and you're going to be a head coach and call plays. There's just not enough time for a guy to get that done, I don't think. It's very rare. The Sean McVays, everybody wants to touch somebody from Sean McVay. And that's been the hiring cycle for the last, 5 years now? Offensive guys. And I think there's a lot of teams looking for that young offensive guy who they can help with their young quarterback and get cheap. But,
Steelhouse.
I mean, Nate's going to get a bunch of, because he's in that golden goose tree.
Hey, it's a good tree to be in, brother.
Back in the day, if you were the quarterback coach of the Packers, you got a head job every year. When you go Andy Reid, John Gruden, all the way through, I mean, that guy got a head job every year, whoever's quarterback coach of the Packers. Now it's anybody that touches Sean McVay.
Go ahead, D-Butt.
Yeah, Coach, on Nate Shieldhouse, not just him, but just a pass game coordinator, something you hear on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. Can you kind of tell us what that is? Because obviously Sean McVay is calling the plays, but what is like a pass game coordinator, and what's the difference between that and then like an actual offensive coordinator?
Yeah, you're responsible for just half the game plan. You know, you're putting up the passing game along with somebody else. You're not doing it all by yourself. You know, Sean's hands in there totally. And but for me, you can't have the word coordinator next to your name unless you're calling plays. Unless you're in front of the room, installation, meetings, and calling plays. There's way too many titles out there right now that don't mean shit. I mean, it's just a way to get a raise. And so just, hey, if you're not in front of the damn room calling and calling plays, you ain't the coordinator.
Corporate structure has gotten into ball. That's what it sounds like you just said.
All the way.
I'm executive vice coordinator of the offense. You know, well, what does that mean? I don't understand what that is. Are you
I'm
calling a play?
assistant head coach. I'm assistant head coach, offensive run game coordinator, pass game coordinator, and I'm the offensive coordinator, but I'm calling the goddamn plays.
Good luck to all these people hiring things. Now, speaking of firing, when do you know the time is right? AJ has a question about, Harbaugh. It was already made in Baltimore. Is there more? Go ahead, Age.
Yeah, BA, we hear sometimes like when a coach is out of place long enough that their message might get stale. Obviously, Harbaugh's an unbelievable coach, legendary coach, and he's going to get hired right away. But did his message get stale? And is that something as a coach you have to be aware of and try to always evolve what you're doing and not your philosophy, but your plan? Does it change over the years?
Yeah, I think totally, AJ. I mean, you got to have a different message. You can't be the same one over and over and over. Now, game week, to me, what I'm saying on Monday, I'm saying on Friday and Saturday. And maybe by then they've heard it. I mean, if I say it 5 times, maybe one of them finally listened and got it. And but I always check what my players were saying in the press. And if they were repeating the message, I know they heard it.
Interesting. There's a little homework assignment whenever you're talking to the media. Has this guy been paying attention at all to what we're trying to say this week? I love that. What was your message normally, Coach? 5 stars. Other guys. I love that. That was my favorite one. That's the one I remember. That's the one I remember most because that's my favorite of all time. Night before game, BA giving a speech to all of us. Or actually, it starts on Wednesday. Whenever we do the initial plan in the morning. This week, our 5 stars are going to cancel out their 5 stars. This game's going to be won by you other motherfuckers out here. Okay, so let's make sure it was one of the funniest things I've ever. I was sitting there just not expecting it at all, and I'm like, God damn, that was like maybe the most blunt way I've ever heard somebody talk about a game. But it was right. You're basically, and then also all the other guys, they took on like, this is our week. It felt like a Super Bowl almost for the role guys in the entirety. I love that. Was that always your messaging? What was your style? You think? I don't remember much storytelling.
Yeah, I was never much of a motivating storyteller guy. I just want to tell the truth and what I thought was going to take to win or lose the game, and keep it short and sweet. And that way, I know they're going to hear me. And like I said, I never gave elaborate speeches on Saturday night. It was just, hey, this is what it's going to take to win. Go do it.
And then, hey, we want speakers next week.
That's
Get
right.
the hell out of here. D-Butt, what a run, dude. Were you there, D-Butt, for the BA run? Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. That was my first year. First year here, obviously, with Chuck. And then once Chuck went down, BA stepped up. And, yeah, that was pretty much the message week in and week out. And him being an offensive head coach at the time, he still kind of set the tone in practice with him talking shit to the defense because, Luck wasn't that type of, quarterback. He went about his business in a different way. So BA set the tone with that. But, yeah, when you lay out the plan, like you said, it's about being a leader of men. When you lay out a plan and what's the plan of action, and a lot of times you go into the game and certain things have to change, but 9 times out of 10, coaches prepare you for how that game is going to go, how you're going to win this game, whether it's an environment, whether it's going to be a big red zone day, a third, whatever it is, they kind of lay it out, and then the best ones kind of adjust as the game kind of unfolds as well. But BA always had a clear message on who was going to have to step up and make that play, and 9 times out of 10, it played out that way.
Hey, that's no BS, baby.
No
now,
BS, baby.
AJ, you talk about a message getting stale or not getting stale. You mentioned Harbaugh. Obviously, Baltimore thought that was the case. Pittsburgh now is the entire conversation. Go ahead, Dahn.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, you were in Pittsburgh for a long time. Majority of it with Coach Tomlin. You know him. You know the Rooneys. You know the GM, Omar Khan. What do you think about the situation as a whole? Because a lot of people reporting there's no way the Rooneys would ever just blatantly outright fire Mike Tomlin. It would have to be him stepping away. Do you think he's someone who would step away? And do you have any thoughts on why they keep getting blown out every single playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, they limped in, and they're not a very good football team.
Okay.
So when you go up, especially when you get 3 turnovers from the quarterback at home, you would expect a whole lot different outcome than what happened last night. And like you said, the last 7 playoff games, they've been down at least 21 points in all of them. So it's if that is the standard, then the standard bearer has to be held accountable. And 9-8 and getting blown out in the first round has been going on for a long time. And so I don't see the Steelers firing him because they haven't fired a coach since '69. So it's a same old thing.
Great.
I'm fascinated by the Pittsburgh story. Also, the lingering messaging of Tomlin potentially having a TV deal. Who's putting that message out, you think? Not Tomlin necessarily, the direct person, but when we hear these types of rumors circulating, that's an agent working? Is that an agent working? What do you think that is exactly?
Yeah, I think it's politically people setting it up for, hey, this don't piss him off because he'll leave. And so if you want to make a move, make a move. I don't know if Art's going to do that. I doubt it, but for me, it's time.
Wow. That'd be crazy. Would you imagine Pittsburgh? I mean, Pittsburgh just spent $30 million on a wide receiver that never played football for them before. So that was abnormal. There's been a lot of abnormal Pittsburgh Steelers stuff happening in this new generation. I'm not saying they fired a coordinator in the middle of the season. That hadn't happened in a long, long time. I don't know. It'd be crazy. Pittsburgh would be upside down. All right, let's talk about a place that seemingly got flipped upside down and then put right back into a same damn place, which is maybe a dynasty. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, B.A., you talked about playoff experience. Drake Maye, he finally got his first victory, his first game under his belt. How huge is this for the Patriots going forward that he now has kind of the taste of the playoffs, and where do you see them kind of going here as the playoffs continue and Houston comes to town?
Yeah, I think it was fantastic. He didn't play fantastic, but he played good enough, and that defense was just unbelievable. That show that defense put on was unbelievable. The way they confused Herbert and had him running all over the place. But yeah, Drake, his athletic ability shows up, and that ain't ever going away. Just play natural football for him. Josh McDaniels doing a great job putting him in very good situations. But again, Houston's defense, that's a whole different story, brother. That ball's going to have to come out quick, and they're going to have to run the football a little bit better.
Coach, we got 30 seconds here before a hard out in the first hour. What was the most impressive thing you saw from Wild Card Weekend? Was it that Texans defense? I mean, that could be your answer.
Yeah, it's probably Josh Allen putting the cape back on down in Jacksonville. I mean, he keeps doing it, man. I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it.
That's no BS, baby. That's no BS. BA's game ball. Josh Allen, how about the NFC?
Oh, Robert Saleh and the 49ers defense. Woo. I mean, the job he did with 4th, 5th, and 6th linebackers was just amazing in Philadelphia.
We appreciate you, Coach. You're the man. Thank you for spending time with us all season thus far.
You got it, brother. Love it.
Hell yeah, Coach.
Love you too. See you. That's Coach B.A.
Yeah, Coach.
AJ, I have no clock over here, so this one's on you, brother.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Good. We got about 15 seconds until the hard out. We got Peter Schrager, right? He's coming on in the next hour. Emmy Award winner. Wasn't he on the sidelines last night?
He was there.
He was on the
breathing
sidelines.
the air.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to Schrager. It's going to be a great second hour. Can't wait. We'll see you then.
But it is great to be down here in T-Town, Alabama. Now, let's do a little history here, shall we? This is, what's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby, you're a senior here, right?
That's correct.
And what is your major?
Chemical engineering.
Okay. Okay, have you ever kicked anything before?
No.
Okay, but you said you want to do it, not get somebody else because?
Yes, because I camped out for so many hours with my friend, and I got lucky enough to get picked, so let's go for it.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes!
All right!
We love that, Gabby.
Let's go.
$300,000 if you make this kick right here, Gabby, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
That seems fair.
I don't know what a chemical engineering degree costs, but hopefully that'll help towards it all.
My parents would love that.
Okay.
I'll throw in 200 as well.
He's throwing it to $500,000. All right, Gabby.
Okay.
Good luck. We're pulling for you. 33 yards. All you got to do is make the kick. Good luck, Gabby.
Okay, thank you.
Any final thoughts?
I love you, Mom and Dad and brother.
Love that, Mom and Dad. Hope you have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabby Mathis, chemical engineer, senior here at Alabama, will attempt to win $500,000.
Oh, it's come to this, huh? It's come to this. It's come to this.
Gabby, why'd you smack me in the face? Kirk just smacked me in the face. How about this? How about this, Gabby? If Kirk Herbstreit can throw that football through those uprights right there, we'll give you $300,000. Are you okay with that? $300,000. If Kirk Herbstreit can throw it through those uprights, former Ohio State quarterback, no warm-up, full suit for Gabby. Get Gabby, get Gabby, get Gabby. Congratulations, Gabby. All right. It's getting even more pricey. Kirk Herbstreit, I did not know you had that in you. You son of a bitch.
Oh, that's great.
Gabby, it's for you, your mom, your brother, the whole family. Congratulations, and Kirk, good on you, man. It was close. Back to you, Reese. Jeez. Way to go, Gabby.
I want a moment. You know, I love the fact that Gabby wanted the experience. You know, blue-eyed Buckeye still got a little sing in that.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour two of the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, January 13th. I am AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat at his desk here in Indianapolis. Pat's on company business. Football! It's happening everywhere. Last night, obviously, Houston Texans beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-6 in a rout. Pat, what do you think? BA had some interesting insight about the whole coaching situation. I don't know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, it seems like Coach BA just said it's time to move on from Tomlin. I feel like that's a pretty big deal, especially as a guy who's been in that building for the Pittsburgh Steelers and a guy who's friends with every coach ever, basically. That feels like a big thing for him to say. But I think he's also coming from a place where, like, hey, baby, I've had to go to a couple different places. You know, like he went to Indianapolis, he went over to Arizona, he was done. There was multiple times he was potentially done with football and then gets called back to the game and gets to rebuild, re-experience, reconnect with new people, I guess. Like, after Pittsburgh Steelers, he was done. Allegedly, he was heading to the lake. Now, would he have got sick of golfing and boozing and hanging? Maybe. But I think, you know, football would have come calling at any
Maybe
point.
not.
But maybe not. I mean, legit, maybe not. Allegedly, the story goes is he was actually driving to get his stuff to go back to Georgia, where he has a lake house with his wife. And Chuck Pagano calls him and goes, "What's up, cuz? Like, anyway, you could come be my OC. We got Andrew Luck." And looks at his wife allegedly and goes, "Yeah, fuck it, baby. Let's go." And just turned right. You know, instead of going to Atlanta or down to Georgia, he just turns right and heads, you know, to Indianapolis, Indiana, as he does that. So then obviously that an incredible year, comes the interim head coach. Chuck Pagano wins coach of the year, BA win coach of the year, kind of together. Then he goes to Arizona, has to reestablish himself all the way out there. So he goes Pittsburgh all the way out to Arizona. Then he's done, and then he's like Tampa. He goes back to Tampa. It's like he's gotten a chance to experience, like, hey, a new building, new fans, new messaging. Like Coach Tomlin, I don't know if BA knows if Coach Tomlin's going to continue to coach or if he's going to do TV. But I think what he's trying to say is like, This feels like time, not only for the Steelers fans with how they've experienced it. Whenever you start lining up those stats, just getting your ass beat in the first round, like that's not a fun year. Hey, yeah, but you guys are above 500. Are we at the end of the year? Because it feels like we're the worst team in football every time the season ends because the way the last taste in our mouth goes. So BA saying that I thought was pretty big. I thought that was big I think he was speaking for both sides though too. Like, hey, Coach Tomlin, like this would be good for you as well, like experiencing something new. And then for the Steelers, it's like, if not now, when? Like, is this just going to go on forever? Like, when do you kind of do it? So I think that's what he was saying, but that felt big coming out of his mouth, AJ.
Yeah, it definitely did. And the thing about, we haven't even mentioned with Tomlin, if for some reason the Steelers move on from Tomlin and Tomlin doesn't go to TV, like he has every NFL job open for him as well. You put him in line with Harbaugh to where, hey, you pick whatever opening you want is yours, right?
He's viewed above Harbaugh, isn't he?
Slightly, I would assume.
I would say
I
so.
think so.
I'm saying just like that's kind of.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ownership and like national conversation.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So they're pretty close.
I
don't know.
10 years younger.
You think they're close?
I think they're pretty close. I think player-wise, but, listening to AQ and people who've been in that building, they love Harbaugh, and I would say the same thing for Pittsburgh. When we were players, everybody talked highly of him. If it was like one coach, he would probably be at the top of the list that players would want to play for. But now I feel like ownership and even like the hiring cycle, just football coaches in general, like the football, if you view the football coach, I just picture the NFL football coach 15, 20 years ago compared to now, it's a completely different landscape. But as far as like legacy-wise and all that, I would say they're pretty close.
I wonder how much Vrabel's hiring is going to affect this entire.
Legit.
Because what a perfect Ben Johnson too, but I guess these Ben Johnsons aren't just growing on trees. That's what they've been saying the last couple of years, which is why everybody was trying to hire him. But like Vrabel, Ben Johnson, super alphas going into these buildings, just kind of. And Vrabel already done it before. He has so much experience for it all. Basically, it's what a perfect hire for you guys, Con Man.
Well, yeah, and Vrabel has seemingly brought back the like, hey, you don't need to be the genius offense or defense play caller. And you could argue this with D'Amico Ryans too, but they are the encapsulation of CEO, leader of men, leader of the team, helping out every single aspect of the team, not just focused on one thing. But Tomlin would then fall into that Vrabel category of, hey, screw whoever we have. Like, let's go and get, like when we were just talking about the Packers and are they really going to let go of LaFleur just to let go and kind of move in a different direction? Whereas if Tomlin was available, that is where you would think, hey, 20 teams, 25 teams, whether they kind of like their head coach or feel like it's going in the right direction or not, they're probably going to say, Tomlin is better than the current option we have, whether we went to the playoffs or not. Like Mike Tomlin's a guy that we can rely on for the next, 20 years. Because like Ty mentioned there, like he's 10 years younger than Harbaugh, and they still do feel, reasonably neck and neck. But yeah, to your point, Vrabel does seem to be that guy and that hire that has kind of changed that narrative around guys that aren't just the genius offensive play caller.
Yeah, MCDC did it with Detroit a couple years back.
Yep.
I just don't know who those.
Sirianni don't call plays, but he, everybody obviously shits on Sirianni.
Yeah, he's getting fired every other year.
Yeah, but he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Every other week.
His winning percentage is up there with like John Madden or whoever else their star. So I think he's a name too, who's kind of in that CEO archetype because it's been a revolving door, offensive and defensive coordinators. Vic is kind of locked down the defense, but offensively, they've been changing coordinators and play callers damn near every year.
D-Butt just sent me a tweet from, we'll send it in the group. I don't know if D-Butt has sent that to Bruce yet or not.
Yeah, I sent it to Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
so
but it's very important, I think,
absolutely,
to kind of mention at this moment.
Yeah, we're talking about it. And we definitely would need the audio for it to get the point across. But when Ben Johnson, I don't remember our initial reaction to him, talking to the whole atrium and the whole building. But when you go into these interviews and obviously stuff we're not privy to, this is what the owners have to deal with. Okay, how is it? Is this a leader of men? Can this guy lead the building? Because it's not just the players, it's the front office. And now looking back on this a year back, I feel like Ben Johnson, this was like a 10 out of 10 from the jump.
Everyone get back to work. Listen, thank you so much My family and I, we are beyond excited. This is exactly where we wanted to be. This is exactly where we wanted to be. Where we want you. This is going to be a challenge. I am well aware of that. I know what this division's about. And this is exactly where we want to be. We're going to go after this thing, and it's going to take all of us in this room. It's going to take this locker room. It's nothing more important than that locker room and us serving that locker room and those players. All right? They need to understand that, and they need to feel that from us every single day. And if we do that, the wins are going to come. The playoffs are going to come. All right? Can't wait to get to know you guys, and thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so obviously that's an very awkward spot to be in, but I felt like he handled it well and kind of setting that message early, like, hey, the locker room, the whole building, everybody in this building, it's a circle. And there was another kind of piece of it, somebody zoomed in on somebody in the back kind of making a face like, oh, shit, I've kind of never heard that message before. And then obviously just like the Vrabel hire, you know, and if they make a move in Green Bay, like going to these places that kind of have a quarterback in place as well, like a talented quarterback. We knew Drake would be a guy. We thought Caleb would be a guy. We know we see Jordan Love to be a guy. Like if you can go into these places and you have a nice mindset and a nice trajectory for the team and actually have that trigger man under center as well, things can go well. You see it going well in Chicago.
Ben Johnson being the belle of the ball for so many years, I guess it all makes sense now, doesn't it? I guess it all makes sense right now. But that was Detroit Lions were obviously reaping the benefit of Ben Johnson for a while alongside everybody else. They're about to lose their DC. Did you see that, AJ?
Whoa. Yeah, he's interviewing for head coaching gigs, right? Kelvin Shepard.
Hell yeah, Shep. Shep not getting a head coaching opportunity. Now, we thought with potentially the way the season ended, first-year defense coordinator Kelvin Shepard, longtime NFL vet, former teammate of myself and Darius Butler, we love this dude.
Hell yeah.
We are big fans of the way this guy played ball, the way this guy operated in a locker room, the way everybody felt about him, his energy, his aura, his passion for the game, you name it. We love Shep Dog. Thought with the way the season ended, there was no chance he'd be getting any head coaching opportunities. He was going to run it back for his second year as DC. But now he's getting some head coaching spots. And I'll let you know this, Evan Fox, if he gets in a room, he'll win room. He's good in room.
Yeah, I believe that. I 100% believe that, but Shep's young, and I'm happy he's getting these interviews. He's going through the process. I don't see him going anywhere yet. I think he'll stay in Detroit. And then we got Mike McDaniel right now in Detroit today interviewing for that OC job. So you got Shep Dog on the defense, you got Mike McDaniel on the offense, and then MCDC back to being a CEO. I don't want him calling plays. I don't want him only worrying about the offense. We had so many holes this year, and I think a big part of that was because MCDC couldn't oversee everything. He was so locked in on that. So I'm hoping we get back to old MCDC ground and pound football.
MCDC was spread himself too thin, man. Hey, Ty, what did MCDC say about McDaniel and kind of how he operates, who he is, and how he'd fit in the MCDC culture up there in Detroit?
All right, first things first, man. I'm going to haze you a little bit. Turn around. I'm going to give you a big wedgie and hang you up on where my coat goes on the back of the door. Okay? I don't want any of this pussyfooting BS, wearing, your high waters, the cool glasses. We're going to cut that shit out right away, man. So I'm going to go ahead and put you up there, rip your underwear. We'll head into the bathroom. I'll give you a swirly, and then we'll get the interview process started.
Okay, I figured it was something like that. And what was the interview about? His offense or just mostly about him?
Well, he pretty much, right away, he was just like, sorry, I didn't flush the toilet before the swirl. All I could see, there's poop in your hair. Let's get you
His
back.
hair's so curly, too.
Let's get you back to the hotel, man. You can shower up. We can come back in tomorrow, and we'll really dive into the football stuff.
There's a chance. We don't know. Obviously, MCDC is an incredibly deep-thinking man. I think it's obvious whenever you listen to him. Super meathead, but very deep thinker, and obviously a stud, but McDaniel and MCDC together would be much watched.
Yeah, just the sight of them two on the sideline would be the best.
Like McDaniel jumping on his back after a big touchdown and MCDC like going crazy. That would be. Oh, you could probably
fireman's carry him.
Yeah.
Fireman's carry him.
If you see my backpack, man, the guy used to be a head coach. This guy used to be a head coach.
That'd be incredible.
Dude, so he's in Detroit right now. What other interviews happening? Stefanski interviewed somewhere, right? And then Harbaugh
McCarthy
with the
in New York
Giants.
today, right? Is that right?
McCarthy
interviewed for the Giants today.
I believe Lou Anarumo also interviewing for the Giants. I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I know every single team has reached out. Every team with an opening has reached out to Jesse Minter to want to hire or set up an interview with him as well.
How do you guys feel about that with like the Giants? I guess you could throw the Dolphins in because they just hired him. Who else? Cleveland, the Raiders, where the GM's already there, and instead of firing GM and head coach, like Spytek with the Raiders, he got hired with Pete Carroll. Only head coach leaves. Andrew Berry with Cleveland, like we just showed Ben Johnson with the Bears. Poles already there. They held on to them. Like, how do you guys feel about that versus some of the other spots where, hey, clean house, we're going to bring in two guys together?
Two different mindsets going in. GM is who you're working for. If you go in there and GM's already there, if that's your boss, then GM reports to ownership. You just got to have that mindset. You got to know that's what you're signing up for. Usually it's a younger coach that's signing up for that who's thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for the opportunity. I will work for GM. GM obviously reports to boss, owner, and that's kind of how this whole thing goes. But then if you come in together, then you see maybe the power struggle is a little bit more like that. So that's kind of my mindset. It'd be two different mindsets completely, AJ.
Yeah, you just got to know your role. You got to know, and also when you're in, if you already have a GM and you're interviewing head coaches, that GM's got to be in every single interview and got to see, can you guys mesh? Do you guys think the same way, or however? Also, you need to know what you're going to do. There's some places where the GM they pick the whole roster. Hey, I will give you the roster. I will show. Here's your team, and then I will stay out of it. I'm not going to get into any football. You do whatever you do. I'm not going to push you to pay or to put players in if I feel like they should be playing whatever. And the coach doesn't try to get in the personnel side. So you kind of got to know what it is going in.
It's different. It's always different. It's people, so it's always going to be shit that you got to deal with, and things happen. I personally saw a power struggle with the GM and the head coach that came in together as it went on. And that's tough because as players, you can't bullshit us. Like, we feel it, we see it, we know the decisions that are being made. We see guys that are maybe on a roster playing, and we know good and damn well they shouldn't be. So that definitely can be tough. And I came into the league, I was in New England. So Bill, he ran the entire show. So there was no, it was one accord. Everybody was on the same page. So it really just depends on the people, but it's working. I guess it's working in Chicago so far.
That's what it made me think of it. Just like, wow, respect to Ryan Poles for just basically being like, yeah, look, it didn't go well. You just tell me what to do. And maybe that's not how it goes. Maybe Ben Johnson had similar mindsets, but it feels like that is a very tough dynamic, like especially in Cleveland. Like if Andrew Berry wants Schrager to play over to Gabriel or Gabriel to play however the hell that thing plays out, but if that is his mindset and then the coach has a different one, like how does that even work?
Well, and then Haslam saying, well, Deshaun's healthy too. So there's a lot of different conversations there. They started pitching GMs and coaches together during the interview process. That was like the last 3-4 years during the cycles where agencies or coaches or GMs, whatever the case, whoever was a part of it, would tag team into the interview process together and say, hey, we can get along. We kind of see football the same. We understand what we want, what we don't want. We've been together this long. We've been through it. Like Andy Reid brings over Veach, right? Whenever he goes over to Kansas City, Veach working for him. Into D-Butt's point there, Chuck and Grigson is who he's talking about. He's talking Coach Pagano, Ryan Grigson. Coach Pagano, Ryan Grigson get brought in together, as a unit. Then Chuck Pagano gets leukemia his first season early. He misses basically a majority of the year, then comes back for last week of season. Unbelievable. He beats leukemia and comes back to coach last year, game of the season, by the way. It was an insane story. All of it should be a movie. Chuck, awesome. We all love him and appreciate him. And then he coaches. Then Grigson won Executive of the Year that year, though. Chuck wasn't there. So then all of a sudden there is already a lot of decisions that had to be made in the first year when you're setting precedent where GM's there, present every single day, head coach is not. So then a relationship is built and a standard is set, and then all of a sudden it's like catch-up is happening for the people that are supposed to be together. So that was an interesting, fascinating thing watching that kind of all take place. It was very clear on, what side those two. It feels like those two maybe pick teams at one point, and I was certainly a pick for one side, definitely not a pick for the other side. So that certainly felt like that. Since then, though, I had a conversation, moved on, but there was a lot of problems in there, and I think that was the most amateur kind of part of it all. It's like you two have to get along. Like you two have to. You two are very important to each other, and if you're not going to, it's like you can't happen. This is where every coach that is trying to get a job says, I want vertical alignment. I want vertical alignment because I don't want anybody sawing me off at the knees if we don't play, or coach, if we don't play well, because we have good players. GM gave me good players. I can't coach good. GM's telling Owner thinks I'm a dipshit. I'm not really a political person, so I'm not going to go say, hey, these players kind of ask for a system to kind of, it's always one of these kind of happening. So you got to get it right. It's not easy to get it right.
Egos, those positions, everybody has an ego, but when you're a head coach, when you're a general manager, when you're an owner, like big, egos definitely become a big part of it as well. Managing those, how do you deal with those from the top? It's tough.
Speaking of really cool things, before we move on, do you see the Pennsylvania hockey lads?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the little guys?
Do you see that, AJ?
Oh, yeah. I see these guys just knocking each other out. What are they, 8, 10 years old?
Intermission game. Hey, just go skate. You're going to be able to skate on, I believe it's, is this the Baby Pens? Whose game was this? Hershey?
This was in Hershey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just go get on the ice during the intermission.
That kid, I love that kid coming in late.
What a refs.
Yeah, where are the
There's
refs?
another one coming in late. Boom! Yeah, that's a goalie coming in saying, what do you guys do? I don't think so. So allegedly it's a Pittsburgh team and a Philly team. They're all throwing bombs. It's good to know. And back here, there's almost going to be a one-on-one. Those two are the stars out there. You can kind of tell they're the goal scorers. But the rest of the lads getting after it. I appreciate the boys scrapping out here, and happy nobody was seriously injured. But I also like that maybe this generation still got it. And Pittsburgh and Philly always going to do that. I appreciate old buddy getting the puck, too. Maybe somebody's going to go, scoring comes the goalie again with a cross check to the face as he gets back in net because the guy's trying to score. Yeah, full chaos there. That is, I like that happened in sports, and I appreciate Pennsylvania being the place to do that. Shout out to hockey. Winning the fight from my understanding.
Yep.
By the way, I just froze over here. Did I freeze over there?
Yeah, it's back up.
Half a second, yeah.
Good now.
It's probably because you call it hockey
crazy.
town. That's a lie.
Oh.
Well said, D.
That's
Bud.
Whoa.
Well said, D. Bud.
You saying it's Detroit?
What?
It
it's kind of Fort Lauderdale right now.
Well, Bunty
It's
pronounced
Florida.
it hockey
kind of Fort
town, so it's hockey town. So is that what your problem?
Yeah, we're hockey town.
Yeah, I just repeated, Pat. He called it hockey town, which was a lie. That's why he got throttled.
Pittsburgh,
hockey town was in Detroit, and now it's in Sunrise.
Now it's off of Los Olas Boulevard.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well
to be
said.
fair, the Bruins did just beat the Penguins 1-0, blanked them. So that's a good call by you, D.
First win of the year for the Bruins.
1-0. 1-0.
Blanked them.
85
Sid
games
the
left.
kid who's the GOAT. They got 0 goals.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might have more answers on all the head coaching jobs that are coming. He's an Emmy Award winner, absolute stallion. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager.
Yeah, Schrager.
My hair here.
Schrager, you look amazing. You were at the game in Pittsburgh yesterday. Your thoughts as a 30-6 ass beating happened against the Pittsburgh Steelers in front of their fans?
Yeah, I felt like that Sunday night game against the Ravens was a cool moment for Steelers fans, as much as now in reflection, they're like, that meant nothing. It was a cool moment to end the Baltimore Ravens season and to end John Harbaugh's time as coach of the Baltimore Ravens, essentially with that loss. Last night, they were hanging around, and the Texans defense was just too much and overpowered. What's fascinating to me is the timeline here with Tomlin. I've known Mike a little bit, he's going to be deliberate with his actions. He doesn't speak in hypotheticals. We know that. I would think in the next 48 hours, he's going to meet with Art Rooney, and the two of them will come to an agreement or a decision of some sort. And we should know, I would imagine, by the end of the week. I don't think this is one of those where it lingers on, and I think it would be a mutual conversation. And then it's anybody's ball game what he wants to do, and he hasn't really told anybody. I think everyone assumes that he still can coach, but also assumes that he'd be great in broadcasting. So there are doors open for him, and I'm fascinated with the timeline here. It could be today, tomorrow. I would be shocked if we went into the weekend and we don't have a word on what Tomlin's future is.
Interesting. This guy could be in the booth by the championship. Would be excited to see if that's the case. If he was getting TB, we all believe he'd be unbelievable. He'd win every award that there is to do whenever you're talking into microphones, and his football knowledge is absurd.
Studio or game? What do you think?
Whatever he wants. I think studio is much better for him, but he could do game as well.
Yeah. I worked at Fox for many years. Jimmy Johnson was an absolute legend and loved working with Jimmy. Then Sean Payton was in there as the coach. Fox currently doesn't have a coach on that panel.
Jay Glazer's pushing.
They're throwing so much money out.
Terry's getting older.
Terry's getting a little older, but Terry's still
he's not.
I'll say this. I've been with Glaze at the league meetings where there's the owners meetings, and no one puts a party on like Jay Glazer at the league meetings. all the current head coaches kind of get together for drinks on that Tuesday, and it's all the neophytes, the young guys kind of like hanging around and like holding their beer, and then in that back corner, it's Glaze and Tomlin just sitting at the top of the table, and it's Tomlin just the king of the castle, and that's a real relationship. And when you bring in the history with John Lynch and Rondé Barber, Fox makes sense. Not that I'm playing the agent for Mike Tomlin or anything.
Well, Jake Glazer's been playing the agent because he's the one who, on going into Week 18, and we watched Jay Glazer on Sunday. Scoopage, right? Isn't that what he calls it?
Yeah, scoopage.
And he doesn't do the day-to-day anymore.
No.
If he wanted to, he could. He waits for Sunday so he can break it on their countdown show, and we respect it. And they got him this big screen now that he stands in front of. I mean, it's the best Glazer setup we've seen in some time. So we're happy for him that it's taken place. But the way you talked about Tomlin and Harbaugh, two very different things. He was like, yeah, they've both been there a long time. Harbaugh can certainly move on from Tomlin. They won't move on. He might do TV. And as soon as I heard Jay Glazer say that, I was like, wait, Jay Glazer and Tomlin are like very, very, very tight. And then the boys were like, Glazer's talking 4 Fox right there. He's saying he's going in there. And if that's the case, football will get better if Tomlin is on a microphone every single week talking about it. And I don't know how the Pittsburgh people feel. Like, I wonder how the Pittsburgh people will feel if this decision is made in the next 48 hours where he stays and he's a coach and they're taking the tractor another round. So if you're boots on the ground, Aaron didn't give any definitives afterwards either, so he didn't want to make a decision in the middle of the emotion. Didn't want to make any emotional decisions, is what he said. So that means he's not sure either. What are your thoughts after being around there? What the future does look like for them?
I don't know. It's pretty reflective, though, right? Like to do this thing again. I don't know. You know, I hate that his last pass was a pick six. I hate that he goes out as a wild card loser. But I do like the fact that Aaron, who is, I think, the most talented quarterback I've ever seen play. Talent-wise, just sheer throwing the ball, and we can get into those semantics. I do like the fact that he had that Sunday night win last week, and I think it's okay if this is it for Aaron Rodgers. Now, if he has a burning desire to run it back one more time and do it with the Steelers or do it with somebody else, hey, that's his prerogative. But he left it on the field, played the complete season at 42, won a division, won a huge win-in game on Sunday Night Football with the world to see, where he threw for 400 yards. Like, I think he could hold his head pretty high saying, hey, I didn't go out the way it would have gone out if he had ended after those Jets 2 seasons.
Congratulations to whatever decision is made, and congrats to the Houston Texans. I mean, what an unbelievable win, Schrags. We talk, I'm saying glowingly of the Houston Texans defense since I watched them play against the Colts. They were so good, so fast. Our crowd was booing within the first 5 minutes of the first quarter because they knew our offense wasn't going to be able to do anything against them. They did that last night and then some, obviously scoring like 14 points within a matter of what seemed like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter to kind of change the entire game. But you mentioned Matt Burke as being a head coach. No shit. I haven't heard his name at all. That was special defense over there right now. They're on the path to be historic. They might win it all because of the defense, Shrakes.
Let me tell you something about Matt Burke. This is a guy who has been around the league, has bounced around a bit, was with the Dolphins, with the Eagles, gets to Houston, and this is before they drafted Stroud and before they drafted Will Anderson, and DeMeco's obviously defensive coach. This year, DeMeco gives up play calling duties on defense to Matt Burke, who very quietly has put together this season with DeMeco, obviously a big voice in it. And these guys have been unbelievable all season. So week 4 or 5, Orlovsky and I went out there and we called, and I was on that broadcast crew that called the Seahawks-Texans Monday night game. It was part of a doubleheader. Not a lot of people stayed up to watch it. But now you look at it, it's Seahawks Texans. Seahawks won by 14 points. You don't think much about it, whatever. The Texans defense absolutely dominated that game. And I came out of that thing being like, okay, like I know they lost, but this team is legit. Then they beat the snot out of Josh Allen and the Bills. They eliminate the Chiefs. They go on, they get to the playoffs. And then last night on national television, just absolutely destroyed the Steelers offense, which was clicking the week before. Top to bottom. And I give not only D'Amico and Matt Burke and the players a lot of credit, I give Nick Caserio, the GM, a lot of credit because a lot of it's homegrown. They drafted Stingley before Sauce Gardner. Everyone was like, you're drafting Stingley before Sauce? Stingley had all the injuries. Drafted Stingley before Sauce. Traded up to get Will Anderson. Petrie was a second-round pick. You look at those different pieces. Bullock, draft pick. Lassiter, draft pick. And then bring in Al-Shaair, right? Bring in Danielle Hunter. This is a loaded team, all three levels. And it might be one of those years where everyone's like, anyone's guess who's in the Super Bowl. We wake up the Monday after the AFC Championship game and we're like, holy crap, the Houston Texans are playing in the Super Bowl and they have the best defense since the Baltimore Ravens fielded in 2000. They're that good and they are that deep and they're that well coached. Sorry for this 6-minute soliloquy on the Texans defense, but I've been wowed by them 4 different occasions. Seahawks game, Bills game, Chiefs game, and this game where it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, when you get eyes on them in person, it's even different because they're all big. They're all fast. They're all strong, and their gap sound. And D-But, you were talking, and Troy was talking a lot about it last night. They're like the old Seattle Seahawks defense, right, where they're just doing their shit.
Yep.
You just know exactly what it is. It's not like Aaron was going to have some sort of advantage by being able to pick apart what they were doing. They're not disguising anything. They're just playing football, saying, let's go and get it, right? D-But, what does that mean for, like, going forward?
I mean, it just means – basically, everyone knows their roles. So everyone, and even the offense is coming in, they know, okay, this is where it's going to be. They're going to be playing this type of coverage. This is how we can attack it. But everyone knows their roles. So if I'm playing with AJ, I'm always in a curl flat, and he's always in a hook curl. Like, we almost know how each other's going to play each down. And you talked about that Ravens 2000s defense, the LOB. They were similar. Even that no-fly zone defense in Denver. They kind of won that Super Bowl when Peyton was there. Like, you knew what they were doing lining up. Their guys were just better, and they flied around. They were better coached. And the way that this team swarms, and even when you catch the ball, like, you're going to get a headache every time you catch the ball. And that's if the quarterback can get the damn ball out of his hands. Like, they are unbelievable. Kind of depending on how they finish this playoff run, can definitely go down as one of the all-time great defenses that we've seen.
I love that AJ and Darius are here also. It's Danielle Hunter's got 115 career sacks. He's 31 years old. We never talk about this guy. I mean, we're talking about an all-time legend putting a career together that is doing so anonymously, back Minnesota and here, just compiles sacks.
Should have been first team All-Pro.
And yeah.
Oh, that's rich.
A huge season.
I don't vote that.
I voted for him as first team All-Pro. So
did you?
Yeah.
Can't say that.
The Houston Sack Station, brother. The Houston Sack Station. Danielle and Will Anderson, listening to Will talk, geez, he's a 55-year-old man.
Yeah.
It's
didn't
like
sweat.
They got it.
Perfect.
Not at all. How about D'Amico? How about D'Amico mic'd up right before the game? That's abnormal.
Like the first good pregame interview, too. We always talk about how terrible those are.
He was good, but he was on with Scott Van Pelt. He was on with, I think, Ryan and Jason and Swagoo.
You don't get that often.
No, he just signed up for it. Now, granted, there's always an issue with the earpiece. Always an issue with the earpiece. We have it there. College Game Day has it every once in a while, those things. And then D'Amico had a little bit. I think it's because these new modern ears things are supposed to be bent around the ear, but nobody wants to get in there and really bend. You got to really bend it. So then if you don't, that thing's sticking straight out the side, like this as it's on there. It's just kind of the thing I've noticed.
Do you go molded earpiece on game day?
I use Schurz. I got some Schurz, SHUREs. And I
but
just
they mold
right on
them.
the bottom.
They mold them to your ear or no?
No, I don't like that. I don't want to do the what's that they put in your ear where they
wax.
do the mold.
Yeah. Feel like you're underground and it's like you're underwater. It's super, but like I have the molded ones. Yeah, I know.
I like mine loud. My shit's very loud. Too loud, probably. I'm going to be deaf whenever it gets on. I think those molded ones aren't loud enough because I think they're trying to look out for my ears. So I need that shit pumped in there.
This is inside baseball for you viewers at home. This is how we talk about sports broadcasting. But when you're at a live event and then Pat's at these game day, experiences, and these guys are doing the alt cast, there's different earpieces. And mine is
Beach Bowl.
Oh man,
so loud.
Was it nuts?
That was the loudest pop I've ever heard. I was there for John Cena whenever he came back in Fort Worth, Texas, I think, or El Paso, Texas. That was loud. That was an insane pop. Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dallas, WrestleMania.
Take it,
time
Mania.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Dong, obviously, is a kind of a different pop, but that's real. Last night, or at the Peach Bowl, that pick 6 by Pons, first play, because they were already loud and juiced. First play. They're already loud and juiced, making noise because Dante's out there. Oh, and then pick 6. Oh. That was the loudest pop I think I've ever heard in my entire life. That was impressive. But yeah, you're right.
I was in
Seattle.
Seattle for 2013 NFC Championship game, Kaepernick versus Crabtree in the back of the end zone. And when that play happens, it's still the loudest I've ever heard a stadium in my life.
Is that during the chain snatch?
No, that was
Aaron Andrews.
That was the lead. This was the Aaron Andrews afterwards, where Aaron Andrews interviewed him. Sherman's, you don't know this. And
don't you ever talk about me?
Try me the sorry ass. Yeah.
I love that. I like how Aaron handled that, by the way, like a boss.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Who are you talking about?
Just like Laura earlier this year with Herbert, like a boss. Just like, no big deal. We're in the sports world. Let's get back to the sports world. Go ahead, AJ. AJ has a question for you, Schrager.
Schrags, what about with this coaching hires in the NFL, obviously? Is there any young or, say, people under the radar that's going to get hired? We heard BA came on earlier. He thinks it's going to be like the recycled coaches are going to get these jobs. Like, who is someone that we're not talking about that's probably going to pop up and get one of these gigs?
Yeah, I'm looking for your list. I don't see this guy. Nathan Schillhouse.
Okay, yeah, we mentioned him earlier, too. What? All of a sudden, you guys just make the decision we're going to pump this guy up today? Like, what's going on?
No, I've been talking about it for weeks, but I'm also from the McVay camp, if you will, as far as talking to those guys, and they've been talking about him for several weeks and several years. So here's his story. 35 years old, quarterback at Illinois, 4-year starter, quarterback at Illinois. Then goes and works for Matt Campbell for a bunch of years at Iowa State. I'm sure Ty Schmidt got to see his eyes on the Schillhouse experience out there. And then he left and was like, I need to do more. So he goes to coach for McVay. The issue is this. He's never called plays. So he's not the play caller. He's the third guy on the org chart underneath Mike LaFleur and McVay. But everyone raves about this one. He's 35. He's got 3 interviews. He's got the Ravens on board also, which is an interesting fit considering Lamar. And we're talking about guys like Jim Schwartz and different older coaches for Lamar. Well, here's a 35-year-old who might be considered a peer. Maybe he's the voice you want. So that's one to watch. Kubiak and Minter got interviewed by everybody, and Minter's going to interview with everybody. Those are sort of the young names. The wild card is this guy, Grant Udinsky, who's 30 years old as of today. He's the offensive coordinator. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Happy birthday, Grant. 30 years old, but he was the OC for Jacksonville this year. And I heard you guys talking beforehand about Ben Johnson and what a difference that was. Like, how about Liam Cohen? And 1 year ago, we were talking about this moribund franchise and why would you interview? Liam Cohen got one slip for an interview, one. And it was the Jaguars, and they just had this wonderful season. So all it takes is the right hire and the right juice and the right energy, and things can change. They really can. And I know fans in Cleveland or fans in Miami right now are like, what the heck? Like, we can't get this right. Like, if you hire the right guy, things can change.
All the guys that are deemed not the right guys in a lot of these places are going to get hired at new places. Your thoughts?
Meaning?
Stefanski, McDaniel, Harbaugh, all the LaFleur. If they were to move on from LaFleur, I guess they would probably trade him. I guess is what people are saying. But they would get.
That's what Adam was saying yesterday.
If Tomlin gets moved on from, he'd be a head coach anywhere he wants. It's just like all these guys. Like, hey, if you hire the right guy, it's like, well, maybe it's a guy who just got fired from another place where he wasn't the right guy. There's a chance that happens a lot on this particular.
It works. Andy Reid worked. I think Mike McCarthy worked in Dallas for the most part. Like, had a nice second run there. Gary Kubiak worked in Denver. Like, it's worked. It's interesting because the Harbaugh stuff, the Harbaugh discourse is all over the map. It's like Atlanta interviewed him, and then I've never seen this before. Beat reporters from the Giants coming out and being like, yes, but the Giants had a meeting on Saturday. Like it's all over the map. And I think he'll end up somewhere. But I also would say hang tight on everyone, Harbaugh being able to pick and choose where he wants to go. Not every team wants John Harbaugh necessarily as their coach.
Who doesn't want him?
I don't know who doesn't want him, but not every team looking for a man who's been coaching for 20 years somewhere else. And they might be looking for the first time coach and a young, voice who we haven't seen. Like every team is different. So Harbaugh, I believe, is the lead dog for the Giants. I would imagine that's a great fit, but it's not necessarily the perfect fit everywhere. And just because there's an opening doesn't mean John Harbaugh is going to be the head coach of that team. The team that I would say keep an eye on with Harbaugh, other than the Giants, interesting. Tennessee Titans makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, what happened? Why is this happening? I heard this. We need to keep him out.
Did you hear this elsewhere?
No, yeah, I saw it on the internet. It might have been your tweet. I don't know if you posted it, but I saw like multiple people posting that for some reason Tennessee Titans might land Harbaugh. I'm like, get the fuck out of the AFC South, Harbaugh. What are we talking about? We got D'Amico Ryans, Liam Cohen. We're about to get John Harbaugh in the AFC South? I don't think so. And why would he like Tennessee? Because Nashville's the sweetest city in America? Is that what that is? That he loves honky tonks? We'll send honky tonks.
It helps. It helps. Nashville's a cool city.
I love honky tonks. We all love honky tonks. I love Nashville.
Blank slate, quarterbacks in place, cool, good GM and Mike Borgonzi, who everyone respects around the league, and an owner who's basically going to say, like, hey, here, as much as everyone thinks she's meddling, like, they want to win. Like, here are the keys. Build it. Like, build it. And they have a new stadium coming next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all that stuff is exciting for now. It's a great city.
Nashville's awesome. Nashville's awesome. It might be the best city in America.
So you'd think about it like that. And then it's, the Giants, GM's already in place. They have a young quarterback, 4 Lombardi trophies on the wall, like a lot of the Giants thing is like, this is a Giants type of coach. Tom Coughlin came in here. Parcells came in. Like the Nashville thing is a little looser if he wants to. And if he interviews well with them, I'm not even sure they're offering him the job. My point is this: Stefanski can interview for all these jobs.
He's got to impress them.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Schrags. I'm stepping on you here. Just a couple of things you've said have been so surprised. Maybe the Titans don't want Harbaugh, and for the Titans, I don't think you do. I don't think he fits the culture down there.
Nope.
I think we need to keep him out of there. As an
NFC South man, I understand. Or AFC South man, I understand you saying that. I would add this: the Ravens, really interesting, right? They had their run with Harbaugh. It ended. It was time. They move on, whatever. There are going to be questions to everybody around the Ravens and everybody who's been around Lamar Jackson. If you're hiring John Harbaugh, well, what exactly happened there, right? So there's going to be other sides to this. I'm just saying it's not Harbaugh having 8 choices and picking. He's got to interview for these jobs, and it's got to be the right fit. He'll get a job. If he wants to get he'll get one of these. But I don't think it's 8 teams waiting on their hands while they're not meeting other people and not open to other ideas saying, gosh, will John Harbaugh pick us or not? I don't think it's that deal. Look, Bill Belichick interviewed with one team, and everyone when he was done was assuming he was going to have his choice. One team, and he didn't get the job.
Interesting. So we'll see what happens with Harbaugh. We assume he's going to get a job. But there's another guy that you talk about, Baltimore, allegedly did get an interview, not 100% sure. Didn't expect this name in the cycle, but it could get hot. Diggs has a question for you, Schrags.
Yeah, I do, Schrags. I did see that Cliff, I believe, did interview. Sorry, Cliff Kingsbury, OC for the Commanders, former coach of the Arizona Cardinals, did interview with the Baltimore Ravens. Do you have any insight on kind of how that ended in Washington? Because it was kind of surprising as far as, there was reports about they had a meeting and then they decided to part ways after the meeting. And is Cliff someone who do you think could get a head coach job and will definitely get an OC job if he doesn't get a head coaching job?
Well, he wants to work, and I could tell you it would be I think he would be fine with me saying this. It would be an honor for him to be able to work with Lamar Jackson. That is something that is very exciting for him. I think For Cliff in Washington, at the end of the day, they wanted to make a change, and he was more than fine to no longer be the offensive play caller in that building anymore. And he loves Jaden, and he loves Dan Quinn. I think it was just time. And they're moving on to David Blau, who's a 30-year-old, and they get their fresh new start, and excited to see where that goes. It actually ended on good terms with him and Quinn. Cliff goes on now.
If they don't like each other, Schrags. Why they parting? They don't like his system, his scheme. What, do they want him to run something that he doesn't want to run?
I think that was it. I think they're looking to get more into a different scheme and really mirror what they did in San Francisco and in some of that stuff that Adam Peters brought over there. Okay. And I think that's fair. What Cliff does is different. It's not what they want to run, so they're going to move on. And again, both sides are cool with each other, happy, and Cliff's going to get an opportunity. Now, what's interesting is. Well, DQ, like Dan Quinn was like brokenhearted to say goodbye. He's like the greatest guy in the world. So
no, the ice cream.
Okay. It's fine. But with Cliff, he interviewed yesterday with the Ravens, did it in person, and he interviewed both for the head coaching job and the offensive coordinator job, which I think is really interesting. And I think Mike McDaniel's going to do the same thing with Baltimore as well. They're bringing these guys in, and it's DaCosta, it's Sashi, and it's. I believe Bisciotti has input, but I don't know if he's in this round of interviews. And they just want to hear you talk because they haven't had a fresh voice in there for 18 years. And they want to hear what your philosophies are. And they want to hear what you're going to maximize and do with Lamar. Because this doesn't come from the Ravens side or Cliff, but Lamar, this is one of the greatest offensive talents we've ever seen enter this league. And that window, as huge as it is, with his contract and all that stuff, I don't know if Lamar plays the same way at the later part of his 30s. So right now, the next 3, 4, 5 years, we have to strike the iron. You have to make the right hire. And there has to be a connection between quarterback, coach, and offensive coordinator. So what I thought is interesting is McDaniel, Cliff, they can meet in person because they're currently not employed by these teams. And they're interviewing for both positions. And maybe Salah's the coach and Cliff's the OC. Or maybe Jim Schwartz is the coach and Mike McDaniel's the OC. Pretty cool way they're going about this. They just want to meet and learn and hear about everything. And I believe Cliff has a request for Tennessee to interview for their head coaching job, but that hasn't been scheduled yet. So Cliff's wide open. I think Baltimore makes a lot of sense, either in that head coaching job or offensive coordinator. But if it doesn't go that way, he's cool. He's open. He wants to see what's next also.
Fascinating interviewing for both jobs. Good luck to all parties. McDaniel going over there would be fascinating. He's in Detroit today, right? McDaniel interviewing with MCDC. Is that accurate?
It is. He's in there today. Mike interviewed with Cleveland and Atlanta yesterday for their head coaching jobs.
That would be interesting. McDaniel very well. Obviously, we've gotten a chance to chat with him a couple times. I don't think if I was a fan of a team and they hired McDaniel as a head coach right now after what just happened in Miami, I'd be pumped. But hey, everybody can rewrite whatever they want. Him being an offensive coordinator, though, I think he's getting a parade in every place he gets hired. So, just two different ways to kind of look at it. I have some source telling me that rather large news is coming in about 15 minutes or so. It's 1:45 Eastern, I believe, 15 minutes out. Schrags, you getting the same information that I'm getting from text messages here in the last 5 minutes?
Is it what I started the show with saying that the next couple of days we'll know?
I don't know.
Is it that topic?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know though. But yeah, I've heard there's going to be some. I heard we're going to hear some news here relatively quick.
I tried putting out some breadcrumbs when I came on, just saying, and gave myself a little bit of a runway.
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on. No, don't be trying to take my take right now. Okay, don't be trying to take my take right now.
I did not say today. That's fair.
Well, because I'm not saying what it is. Okay,
I don't know what
right now.
You guys are alluding. You're alluding.
No, I'm not alluding to anything.
You are.
You're alluding.
He's alluding.
Doing that chefy shit right now.
I'm not. I have no idea.
I'm getting butterflies in my tummy.
The old Schrager side.
You should. From what I'm alluding,
exactly.
what I'm not alluding to. Sounds like you should get pretty excited. From what I'm not alluding to.
Whoa.
Okay? Good butterflies, or is Tone gonna be happy or sad?
I don't know. I'm not alluding to anything.
Am I going to need happy tissues or sad tissues?
They're all the
I
same
don't want
for
to
how
put
you
you in a
finish.
position to have to celebrate something. Hey, do I kind of look? Hey! Hey! I look like that South Park character from Canada with that thing across my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, right?
Hey, buddy. I'm not your buddy, guy.
Terrence and what's it? Terrence and what?
All right. Anyways, yeah, there's
the hell?
There allegedly according to my source, we're 14 minutes out. Allegedly, from my source,
Is there a
we're 14
presser or
minutes out.
something? Is there like a presser coming up, or is there just news?
I have no idea. And I think the person that texted me is just hearing a rumor too, but that person would definitely know. The person that said
Dude, just break it. Just break it right now.
Cena
Cuck
coming
it.
back?
Cuck the news. Just do it right now.
I've heard enough. I'm tweeting eyeballs.
No. I'm doing the eyeballs tweet right now. That's what I'm doing. Right now.
I just sent it out. I just sent it out for you.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, thank you. That's my tweet, Schrags. I don't want to dive into the insider world, but anytime I put
honestly, like, on the
anytime I
table,
put
like,
the
whatever, I have nothing. So this is
Show
all
us
you,
more.
baby.
anytime I put the eyeball tweets out and then news breaks like 30, 45 minutes later, that's just me saying, hey, I knew it this time.
I got it.
You know, because
I had it.
you're doing the eyeball. You don't know what it is.
I said I would do it for you. You said enough.
Okay.
It could
all
be
right, let's
like
move along.
your news could be Fred Warner ran today at practice, and everyone's like, "I told you, I had the eyeballs. I knew it was coming."
That's not
Bingo.
eyeball worthy.
Yep.
Fred Warner, maybe. Warner, maybe. If we didn't know that he was potentially going to be back, the eyeball worthy would be there. He looks amazing.
Yeah, we're showing
we love
Fred Warner.
His recovery, if he was able to get back on the field, obviously that'd be absurd. We have massive respect for him. The Niners being able to win without him and Bosa have been absolutely outrageous. Alongside Trent Williams missing a game, Brock Purdy missing some games, Kyle Shanahan's a beast. Now, let's go to a couple quarterbacks through their story. D-Bot, what do you know?
I just got a text too.
Yes, I wonder if it's the same as mine. All right. Hey, D-Bot's up, by the way. I think he's going back to Patriots fan base. I don't know if you heard about this. He's hopping a bandwagon to the Patriots. I think that is.
I saw him and McCourty hugging in a photograph.
Yeah.
Lovely.
He's getting recruited. D-Bot's getting recruited to take his bandwagon to other places. It's insanity. But I'll tell you what, D-Bot, got to keep 4 teams in the holster. Never know who's going to let you down. Okay, let's move along. A couple quarterbacks that their story is obviously potentially not a great ending, but could change massively. Connor has a question.
Yeah, Schrags, feels like next in line for a new home would be Tua and Kyler Murray when it comes to, next year and where they're going to play. Do you have any read on what teams might be interested, whether they're going to be traded, whether they're going to be cut? Like, what is that situation with Tua and Kyler, and do you fully expect them to be starters somewhere next year?
No. Tua, I don't know. I don't think Tua will ever. Again, I have to say this with like a giant. I don't think Tua is going to be the quarterback of the Dolphins next year. Kyler, I don't know. Kyler finished the season hurt, obviously, and everyone's assuming they're just going to get out of that contract. But let's see who they hire as a head coach and what that head coach's vision is, because a lot of the conversations there in Arizona are going to be, what is your plan at quarterback? Because Jacoby Brissett played well, but they didn't win a game the final, I think, 10 weeks of the season. So I'm interested on both of those as well. Those are 2 of the names that are going to be like those veteran guys that might be out there. Mac Jones is another one, and then Malik Willis is another one. Those are 4 names that are being circulated as like, who's your Baker Mayfield? Who's your Sam Darnold? Who's your, reclamation project that you can get behind this year and say, hey, he's either a bridge quarterback or he's a guy that you could be a competent veteran starter that maybe isn't going to cost you $50 to $60 million.
What are some of those team strikes? Which kind of teams you just listed 4, but what are some of the teams you would say, hey, they're not going to do, the entire, hey, let's go get a young guy, let's draft a guy and build around him. But where would you kind of pin as a team that might do a bridge year for a quarterback? Maybe, Pittsburgh, any of those?
Pittsburgh, I think Cleveland is a possibility. I look at Minnesota. I don't know what we have with J.J. McCarthy moving forward. I don't know if they were blown away. Like, do you bring in a Tua, or do you bring in a Malik Willis, or do you bring in a Kyler Murray to Minnesota and say, all right, we're going to challenge J.J. McCarthy. It's year 3 and we haven't seen anything really that's given us the proof that this is the guy moving forward. So interesting with all those teams. And of course the Jets are on the board, but after the Justin Fields experiment, I think, be cautious them giving a big contract to one of these other reclamation projects.
What about Aaron Rodgers to Kevin O'Connell's offense like we almost saw this year? Remember that? That was a potential possibility. And I was bummed out if Aaron, what's that?
I say bro, because like that's not a crazy thing if Aaron still wants to play, and that roster still to this moment is built to win.
Have you heard any rumblings between them? You heard anything about the?
No, there was rumblings. There was rumblings during the whole Rodgers wait and see, and that was real. Like Darnold going to Seattle was one move. And then you were like, well, what's the other shoe that's going to drop? And then there wasn't. It was just JJ's team. And then when JJ got hurt, no offense to Max Brosmer, but it wasn't necessarily built to win. Carson Wentz was the August edition.
Come on.
Brosmer's a real Brosmer. He'll be in the USXFL. We know that, and he'll do. He'll
be an NFL quarterback, but he wasn't. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's got a lot of Wentz in him.
Not yet.
I mean, maybe Brosmer is an NFL quarterback. In my eyes, he's got Birmingham Stallions written all over him.
Come
on. And he'll be
learning under the tutelage of A.J. McCarron.
Kind of good.
Good coach.
That's what I'm saying. If he's selling out
Ted
stadium,
Ginn will coach
maybe
him
he
up.
goes to
Bring him to Columbus.
Maybe he goes to the Battlehawks.
Sure.
Ricky Prohl.
Jordan Talman might still be.
One of the greatest.
Is Anthony Beck.
NFL players.
Anthony Beck still with the Battlehawks? Wasn't he the coach?
Yeah, he's coach still. Yeah, he's entering his 5th season with the Battlehawks. They're obviously under new ownership there as a whole. They're excited. They sell out that stadium.
Shout out to Rocco Becht joining the Penn State Nittany Lions, I believe. Right?
Good for Rocco. He feels like he's 27 years old. He's only like 23 or whatever.
Yep.
Unbelievable. There's somebody looking for 7 years of eligibility the other day. Who was that? Somebody was trying to.
UVA's quarterback. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. There's a couple of them.
Okay, what else do we need to hit? No, Schrager, you have the answers on stuff. That's what I'm trying to make sure we get from you, because you have the answers on all the shit. Okay, yeah. Last question here from Conman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schrager, you mentioned a bunch of different quarterbacks there in different locations. What about Atlanta? Is Penix and Kirk, are they just rolling with those two? Are they going to be in kind of the quarterback conversation when it comes to, new head coach coming in, possibly new front man as well?
So Atlanta's a really interesting deal. So let's go through it. So Raheem doesn't think he's getting fired, gets fired after winning 4 straight games. And then we learn after the fact that, the conversations, informal, were happening with Matt Ryan anyway. They go through this entire search for this head of football operations deal. They interview Brant Tillis, who's the man down in Carolina. They interview Mike Disner, who's in Detroit. Foxy might know that name pretty well. He's been part of that whole rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
And in the end, they're like, it's going to be Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's doing his press conference right now. Fine. But they don't have a GM yet, and they don't have a head coach yet. And there's also, Arthur Blank, who's an owner in his 80s, and Arthur's son, who's 29, Josh Blank, who's been working at the league office for years and is now sort of taking a bigger role. So there's a lot of voices in that room already of like what we're looking at, vision, and Matt Ryan's there to kind of synergize it all. I say all this because I don't think I could give you a valid answer on what their plan is at quarterback because we don't have the head coach, we don't have the GM, and Matt Ryan's voice is going to play such a large role in the vision of this team. So anything I thought would have been from the previous regime and before the last couple of days, Matt Ryan's not coming in and saying, hey, Penix is the guy or Penix is not the guy. That's why you do the interviews. That's why you meet all these people.
Excited to see that. He said he's not going to pull a Phillip Rivers and play football, but we'll see.
Saw that.
You never know.
We'll see. We'll see with Matt Ryan. All right, Shregs, we appreciate the hell out of you. T-minus 5 minutes from my
I'm
clock.
checking my non-watch. Yes. Let's go.
Oh, that's a real one.
Yeah, it's like
That's a nice
It's
one.
like Shefty flaunts his.
Hey, press 1 button, car, automatic start. Stand to, close car, alarm might bark. That's what they say. We got rolling out here. But this is also black and yellow, Interesting.
Oh.
Appreciate you. Ladies and
Love you guys.
Oh, yeah, Schrager. What was that little tidbit?
That little nugget.
I'm telling you, dude. This could be big. This could be pretty big.
I was getting a transfer portal quarterback.
Oh, I hope.
No, freaking Mace is re-signing with the Steelers.
7 might be
Maybe. Oh, maybe Ben. Ben was on the Super Duper cast last night, right, with Manning?
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't get to watch much of it. Was he bummed out the whole time?
He was a bit bummed out. He also was.
He loves the Steelers, dude. He loves the Steelers.
He does, and we love him. And he was trying to to talk about the game, and Peyton and Eli just wanted to talk about goofy faces of quarterbacks and stuff. So yeah, it was super enlightening. Loved
Fumble
it.
return happened when he was on too.
Yeah. No, that's not a fumble. No, it was pretty good.
Certainly was. And Rank is just picking that up. Just casually and taking that to the crib.
After he bull rushed the guard, too.
Beautiful
play by this front.
Fell on it.
AJ, I think there's huge news coming in 4 minutes. The SportsCenter will obviously be on top of that here on ESPN. We'll continue digitally on ESPN Plus, YouTube, TikTok, and X. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. I'm doing something right now, shaking some hands, because the fact that you give us a chance to do this every day. We hope you come visit us tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Goodbye.
Bam. Got it.
Can I hit it?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
On the screws.
This is... I think we should take a break. Should we wait? We should wait it out. We should wait it out.
Okay. Silence or talk?
Silence would be cool.
Okay.
Like 3.5 minutes of silence.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick.
Like meditation.
Maybe
Mick could do like a.
There was some breaking
talking
news
meditation.
while we were on with Schrags.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Greg Roman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Offensive coordinator for Los Angeles Chargers has been fired. Now, is it his fault that the offensive line couldn't stay healthy? Is it his fault they couldn't protect Herbert? Is it his fault? I think a lot of people over there are saying, oh, we don't care if it's his fault. We need something new. Obviously, Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, close friends. They were living in an RV together whenever they got out there to try to flip this entire thing around. Now they will move on. A lot of great offensive coordinators available. Justin Herbert, D-Bud, is certainly something that would draw a lot of people's interest in the Los Angeles Chargers building, I think.
Absolutely. One of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. A lot of people were putting Greg Roman's playoff stats side by side along with Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert, the lack of success in the playoffs. So you kind of saw this coming. So now it's 3 jobs with quarterbacks and with very good offensive weapons. And in my opinion, the Chargers, the Lions, and the Ravens now who have open spots at some head coaching and some offensive coordinator spots. So I'd be interested to see what big names they get into building.
Yeah. You talk about Baltimore, Detroit, and now Los Angeles. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, McDaniel, this Shieldhouse guy, I guess, because he's not calling actual plays in L.A. He's available.
Promotion.
I got a name that no one's talking about that would fit really well in Detroit if you guys want to hear that one.
I already know.
I think Dan Orlovsky, with his history with the Lions, former teammate of MCDC's.
True.
The guy knows everything about the Ben Johnson offense.
Good call.
He loves Jared Goff, accurate quarterbacks, all those weapons, St. Brown, J-Mo, Gibbs, Monty,
please.
Laporta when he comes back. Can you imagine Dan Orlovsky on a pen and paper or in the VR writing up plays for the Detroit Lions next year and sending us to the Super Bowl?
Dan Orlovsky maybe to the Lions? That would be awesome. That would be the best case scenario for our show, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, well, MCDC, now we probably wouldn't be able to talk to Orlovsky after he gets up there, but would MCDC let Dano be Dana? Like, is he going to let Dano say fudging and do all of the tricks that he wants to be able to do? I think he would. Man, Dan Orlovsky back with the Lions to right the wrong of the 0-16 season, to right the wrong of the 11-yard end zone, to right the wrong of his story in Detroit and make it a better one alongside a former teammate of his to bring a title to Detroit. Yeah. Oh, AJ. Oh, it writes itself. Get Dano up there, Foxy. That's brilliant.
We've been talking about it for how many off seasons now?
Yeah.
Where Dano has he officially interviewed for any of these jobs? Like, I feel like he used to a couple of times. He actually interviewed for.
He's interviewing every day, brother. And the other thing too with the Lions is, you know, they were boo-hooing because Skip was retiring. Guess who's not retiring anymore? If Dano's coming in, Skip.
Good point.
Decker.
True.
I mean,
Well, what about Dano for head coaching opportunities? Why are we talking coordinator? Why don't we just go right to the top?
Well, if NCDC brought him in, he'd probably be nervous that he'd be.
Great point.
Right
Great
there.
point.
You know,
Yeah. He's a threat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, all the boys are asking for Dano to be head coach now that he's here. Yeah.
Foxy, Dan Orlovsky or McDaniel, offense coordinator for the Lions?
Yeah, so I put a tweet out and I said, Lions fans, who do you want to hire as your coordinator? And I got a lot of responses on that, not one Orlovsky one, so that might just be me, but overwhelming support for Mike McDaniel. So if he gets the job, I think Lions fans will be very, very happy.
I like to hear that. It's 2:00. Have we heard anything?
I don't know, man. I'm refreshing. Where's the news? Just break it. I want to know so bad.
Well, I don't know if it's real. That's why we got to wait for this thing. Like, you know, we need journalists to go in there and find out. Actually, Fox or Tone, you should just call the people you know in the place that you know and see if anything happened within the last. Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Okay.
All right.
Refreshing.
I think it's pretty big.
Still refreshing.
Nothing yet.
Who? Can we just FaceTime Muth from back
I don't
there?
know. What do you say? Why do you think it's from? What do you?
Because you said you have a black and gold watch.
Yeah,
too,
black
as
and gold
well.
watch was one of the
I
tidbits.
do. Yes. Big story for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Every time we go to break, when something like this happens, it breaks as soon as we go to break.
Well, we'll come right back.
Can we do like a fake, like, all right, let's go, see you guys later,
And then they'd
be waiting,
and we don't go.
boom, boom, and we.
All right, so we'll act like we're going to a break. All right, so
see you guys.
Go to the bathroom. When we come back, we're going to cover all the sports stories that you need to know about. So, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. Take 5.
Bye.
See ya.
Update, refresh. Anything?
No, nothing. Nigel Seeley just tweeted, but I don't think
What
that's
kind of news? But what kind of news?
What Nigel say?
Darts?
No, it looks like he's retweeting a Mitch Michaels tweet about his chat with Lorenzo Musetti.
Oh, yeah,
so
I
if
saw
you're
that.
interested
I saw
in that.
What do they say? I'd love to hear it.
It's a YouTube link to the Inside in Tennis podcast.
Yeah, this was viral. This was viral.
Yeah,
Can you read his tweet, though? Can you read Mitch Michaels' tweet there?
In Nigel's.
Oh, yeah. Here's a video of my chat with Lorenzo Musetti. Remember, you can watch every episode of the Inside in Tennis podcast on the YouTube channel. It's youtu.be/3gr6QY2AK90 3 dots. You can get the rest of it at YouTube.
Is Lorenzo Musetti going to tell us why I could just sign up and go play in a pro tennis game? I would like to know that.
He might.
That lady that was in there,
Weapon.
that's awesome. That's one of the best sports stories I've ever heard.
What was her name?
Abdel Dakar, I believe, from Egypt.
That sounds right.
She wasn't even like
Where's the news?
an average tennis player.
Fuck!
That's what made it better. She
3
wasn't like a
minutes. There's
solid
supposed to
player.
be something going on here.
But hold on, what kind of news could break when you say like whoever you're talking to, your source is 2 o'clock?
There's going to be a piece of it. There's going to be a piece of information delivered to a group of people allegedly at 2
gotcha.
p.m. One of those people that are getting information will certainly roll over the info.
It says that the Steelers have a team meeting that started at 2 p.m. local per league sources.
Oh, you're alluding. He's alluding.
Hashtag Tomlin watch.
Oh, there's a Tomlin watch?
Who's that from?
I don't know if that is a Tomlin watch.
Joe Cena.
All I know is my watch in my bladder saying I got to go to the bathroom. So let's take a break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Might have massive news on the other side. Might just wrap up all the other sports stories happening. We appreciate you all so much for being kind and allowing us to do this. Take 5.
Bye.
Jack, you got anything to say to the team here?
Oh, man, you guys keep crushing and firing everybody up. It's bigger than you guys, and you guys are the friggin' best.
Boom. Thank you, Joe.
That's amazing.
Yes.
God damn, I needed that.
I got back in shape. I got the best shape of my life. I felt like I just throw people through walls. Oh, shit. What's happening?
What the fuck is this?
We interrupt your regular programming with breaking news.
We have reports of a UAP approaching Indianapolis. They have messaged to officials they are coming to take over the world.
Government agencies have been alerted that they plan to land and activate Earth's Armageddon switch.
This is literally the scariest situation imaginable, a true doomsday scenario. Please stay calm, seek shelter immediately, and pray to whatever God or higher power you believe in.
What is that?
What?
Landed here?
I think Indianapolis. What? So that can't be.
We gotta go find these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
I think it sounds like something you should have. Jack Carr. Yeah. I don't know. We need to.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Yeah. Let's. Fuck these pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. That motherfucker. It's here. It's here.
It's the button.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
Hey, do you have a rifle?
No, I got something better. I got something better.
Jack, I've been saving this.
What?
Yeah.
What is this thing?
What?
That's for a rifle. What is this?
Yeah, it kills aliens. Yeah, I bought it online, deep web.
That's certainly convenient for us. All right, here we go. Hey, will you be my spotter?
Oh my God, it'd be my honor. Let's go kill these motherfuckers.
Let's do this.
Where are they?
I don't know. I think they're coming. Looks like they might be coming from right over here.
Yeah, looks like I see their fucking ship. Let's get them. They're not gonna get to that button, Jack.
Nope, they will not get to that button.
Is that one of them? Yeah. Black helmet, Carhartt khaki. He's walking right at you. Go ahead and pep. Yep. That's it, Jack Carr. That's it, Jack Carr. You killed that son of a bitch. Oh, there's another one. He looks the exact same, a little taller, a little bit more awkward.
Hey,
Why?
let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show. I am AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat at his desk. He is away on business, as they say. Big breaking news Tuesday here on the Pat McAfee Show. Football! Pat, what happened? We took a 30-second break. Something happened. What's going on?
We knew exactly how this was going to go. As soon as we decided to take a break, news broke. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Tomlin, a man who had coached the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 seasons, who led them with great success, never had a losing season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, informed his team at a team meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern today that he would be stepping down as the Steelers head coach. Now, obviously, this is a gigantic decision that Coach Tomlin had to make. There was a lot of conversation and conjecture about whether or not he should be the head coach going forward. Are the Rooney's going to fire him? Would he ever not be the head coach unless he decided he wasn't going to be the head coach? Well, it turns out he decided he didn't want to be the head coach anymore. He is stepping down. Did that come after conversations with the Rooney family, the ownership group of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Potentially. Did that come after conversations with his family? Did that come after conversations with the fans? What led to this decision? We do not know. Hopefully we'll find out more as we go forward. But Mike Tomlin no longer being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers is a insane thought. John Harbaugh, 1 week ago, loses to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 18, misses out on an AFC North championship and a home playoff game. The Baltimore Ravens move on from John Harbaugh. And now a week later, after a wild card drumming to the Houston Texans, Mike Tomlin gone from the AFC North. It's the dawning of a new era, certainly in the AFC North, but definitely in football as a whole. And in Pittsburgh, this is wild to think about. Let's go to one half of the hammer. Dahn! Cowboys, AP tone. Is that what you're getting butterflies in your stomach for about 16 minutes ago whenever you thought this was potentially going to be the news? And now it's officially happened. How do you feel, and how do you think Pittsburgh feels about it?
Yeah, I to be honest, had no idea how I would react if this happened. And at this moment, I kind of like heart's racing because first and foremost, obviously, thank you to Coach Tomlin for 19 years, 1 Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances, multiple AFC championships. And what he did for the team and the city to carry it on from what Coach Cowher had done and Coach Knoll had done, like an incredible job. And he will never, ever be forgotten in the city of Pittsburgh for what he did for all these years. To go 19 seasons and to be in the playoff race every single season, and for a lot of those seasons to have Super Bowl aspirations, like he started when I was a freshman in college, so I've basically spent most of my adult life with Coach Tomlin as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So first and foremost, thank you to him. But when you go 9 years in a Steelers organization without a playoff win, 7 straight playoff losses, and none of them being particularly close, like it's just a situation where, yes, he's a great coach, but has it run its course in Pittsburgh? Most likely, probably. So, you know, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I didn't think I would that this would happen. But like I said, when you go 9 years and 7 straight playoff losses, this does happen. So now I think the majority of the city is going to agree with this. I think they're going to agree with what he did in Pittsburgh was incredible, and the whole run was incredible, and he's a great football coach. But I think people will be happy with the move, and I think people will be happy and now optimistic with what the future could bring.
Okay, because it could be different than what it has been for 19 years. Now, Coach Tomlin, I think BA mentioned it in the first hour where he said he doesn't think Rooney will fire him, but it's time. And I think when Coach BA said that, that was a surprise to me that he actually said that publicly. But I think BA was also speaking from Tomlin's perspective. It's like, hey, man, you've done incredible things for this place. And seemingly at this point, you got a stadium chanting to fire you right now. Okay, he goes out to go in public. Obviously, everybody's a fan of Mike Tomlin, but also there's a media to his family, to him. Hey, when are we going to win a Super Bowl? We just got killed again. Is this another year? It's like that was his life anywhere outside of football and outside of his family in Pittsburgh. That's what it became, basically. And what is it? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain or whatever. It's like, that was Tomlin in Pittsburgh for sure. And in this modern age, being able to stay in the same place for 19 years is wild. That's a crazy thing to even consider. That's why what Harbaugh was doing in Baltimore crazy and what Tomlin. So now you got 20 NFL teams that are trying to call Tomlin and his agent to see, hey, is there any chance that he still wants to coach football, or how does this whole thing work? And if he signs up to do TV, is he going to be in the booth this weekend? Is he going to be on a kickoff show this weekend? Because obviously this is the biggest time for all these shows. It's like there's a chance Mike Tomlin will have options with what he wants to do next. I cannot read the rest of that because the thing is cutting off. Still can't. He could put it in between me and AJ. Still can't. If you could put it in between me and AJ, maybe. Boom. Mike Tomlin will have options with what he wants to do. He can take the year off. He can have a job in television as an analyst. He gets to do what he wants, but it won't be coaching for the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, good for Coach Tomlin. Now that he has all the options in the world, he's worked his ass off to get to this moment. Good for the Steelers. Good for the faithful Yinzers who obviously have a sense of optimism and hope about, okay, we got some change. Maybe we can go win it. And who do you hire next, D-Butt? I guess that's the question. With the model the Pittsburgh Steelers have, they're looking for a lot of consistency, which you would think maybe a younger coach. But Mike Vrabel goes back to New England. The reason why he does such a good job there is because he loves the place, has a history of that place. He's in the Ring of Honor of that place. Mike McCarthy was born and raised about 3 miles from the stadium, 4 miles from the stadium. He's available. He would obviously, he wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers to win a Super Bowl this year so his mom and his family could have a good time like the good old days back in the day. It's like, who is the right answer now for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I guess they have to find that out for the first time in 19 years, D-Buck.
They definitely have to find it out. Long time. I mean, Tomlin's basically lived out a dream, every coach's dream, to stay at a place like the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 years. We're getting old. You know, all these kind of chapters are closing. Bill Belichick in New England, Pete Carroll in Seattle, Harbaugh in Baltimore, and now Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Based on their history, Kyle was pretty young when he got hired, too. This is his first NFL head coaching job when he got hired?
Yeah, and he was, I believe he was the special teams coach in Cleveland before he got hired, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so that was his first opportunity in Pittsburgh. Then Mike Tomlin got his first NFL opportunity in Pittsburgh. History would tell us it'll probably be another coach getting their first opportunity to take the team forward. But we shall see. It's a tough decision to make. It's an iconic franchise. Once again, you know, Tone being a fan, being from Pittsburgh is different, but me being a fan of just football and, you know, physical, defensive football, championship caliber football. So I have the utmost respect for Mike Tomlin and the job that he's done. And I personally, and this is me personally, I can't see him coaching anywhere else. This is just me, so I can maybe see him going on the TV. I can't see him with other colors and another hat or whatever on the sideline personally. But we shall see. We know how these coaches are wired. They want to coach forever. So we'll see what's next for Mike Tomlin.
A big part of this entire thing that's being talked about online is Tomlin stepped down. He wasn't fired, so the Steelers still retain his rights. So this is what Ari Mirov at My Sports Update, former real estate guy, I think he was, and then he got into aggregating information for the NFL on the internet. I don't think he went to journalism school, but he does a great job of aggregating a lot of information on a regular basis. I don't know if he sleeps. He might be one of those guys that's actually plugged in, which is pretty cool that we get to experience that. But if Mike Tomlin was to go do television, with Fox. I don't like the photo he used of Mike Tomlin there, by the way, but if he was to go do television with Fox, it would be very similar to the situation Sean Payton did with Fox, where go do TV. I think Sean Payton crushed it. I think he did well. I think Tomlin would do better than anybody. I think Tomlin will be the best guy on TV as soon as he gets on TV.
Yep.
I think that'll be like a matter of fact. But if he doesn't enjoy it or for some reason does yearn to get back onto the football field, somebody's going to have to trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go get him. So to your point, B-Butt, I think he's going to go do TV and become king. And he's going to feel respect and appreciation from the entire NFL, because the way you view Mike Tomlin is the way I think everybody outside the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base views Mike Tomlin. This guy's cool. This guy's awesome. This guy always wins. Must be nice, Steelers fans, that you're complaining about him not winning a Super Bowl. You guys are in the playoffs every single year. That's what the rest of the NFL thinks. So now that he's going to be able to speak to them, I think he's going to be a king if he does TV, AJ. I think he's going to live like a king, get treated like a king, and feel like a king if he does TV, and get paid like a king if he does TV, AJ. Those are a lot of four royal things to kind of change your life a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure who mentioned it, but yeah, we could see him in a week or two doing playoff coverage, sitting at the desk somewhere doing it. But I know Rap Sheet said that he informed the team that he plans to step away from coaching, meaning one of the greatest to do it will take a break. So does Rap Sheet know that he's not going to coach this next year?
Jay Glazer's the guy we need to be following here.
Yeah, I wonder what Glazer's saying.
Glazer is the one that we need to be following. I think him and Tomlin actually like.
You heard Schrager. Remember the video Jay Glazer put from the meeting? Like they're all sitting around kind of having a drink, smoking a cigar at the end of the coaches, their owners' meetings. Like it was like a whole situation.
Yeah.
And Tomlin and Jay are the guys, and that's what Schrager talks about. Like, yeah, these guys run this whole place.
Yeah, now that becomes the best, like one of at least the top jobs. I mean, the AFC North now, there's 3 coaching vacancies, and the Bengals are the only one that are keeping their guy Zach Taylor, and that might only be for another year. But I don't know how you guys would feel, but for a place like Pittsburgh, would this be a spot where you kind of have to bring in someone who understands it? Like immediately I was thinking Brian Flores, because Brian Flores was there for a year, kind of got back into coaching with Tomlin. Now he's the DC of the Vikings, kind of very similar, goes Minnesota to Pittsburgh. Like, do you think they're going to go that route, or more so do like the veteran like McCarthy?
So the last two, I was wrong. Cowher was the special teams coordinator at the Browns, but then he was the DC at the Chiefs, and then he got hired to the Steelers. Obviously, Mike Tomlin was the DC at Vikings and got hired to the Steelers. So if the Rooneys stick to their ways, it would be a young defensive-minded coach who is a leader of men, and that's what they do. B-Flow kind of fits that model. He is younger in that situation. Chris Shula fits that model. There's others that fit that model. I don't know.
Maybe they want to change the model.
Yeah,
Maybe they want to have an explosive offense.
Yeah, which they have recently. They've been doing things differently than they have in the past, so that could be something as well.
Do you think McCarthy's ties to the city, too, play a big role in this? I mean, like, you know, I guess Tomlin isn't from Pittsburgh, but by the end of it, people who don't know, like, you just assume, oh, Mike Tomlin's from Pittsburgh, and then obviously Bill Cowher. Like, does that play into it at all?
I think so. I think it does, man. I don't know, just once you start going through McCarthy's stats and resume and everything, and with the way he'll impress in a conversation, which he certainly would,
it's like if he took that, he'd be so emotional with Pittsburgh. Like his opening presser, his different, because he'd get emotional speaking to the Green Bay Packers when I was there, speaking of things going on in Pittsburgh and growing up and all these different stories. If he was actually living it as the head coach of the Steelers, it would be amazing to watch.
Yeah.
How would Yinzers feel? Yinzers would like him if he won, obviously, and he knows that if you become the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're stepping into a.
Yeah,
I mean that's a little bit of a bee's nest.
High pressure situation.
Obviously, they would like that he's a Yinzer first and foremost. They would like that he's an offensive guy and has had success at 2 places. I think the only drawback is that he's in his 60s, so you're not getting a coach. You're not getting a coach
62
that can be there for potentially 15 plus years. Because I believe, Cowher was there for 15, Tomlin was there for 19, Chuck Noll was there for 23 seasons. I'm not saying that that's going to happen or whatever, but
10 years is a long time, though.
10 years,
10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
He's also like
Especially
a legit quarterback
science.
whisperer.
He's also the only one who you would hire that I think Aaron would come back for, if that's something you want.
Imagine Big Mike and Aaron reuniting
in Pittsburgh.
Oh, they might be roommates. They might just move in together. That'd be amazing.
He didn't like what was being said about Tomlin. He didn't like what was being said about LaFleur. Aaron said, I don't like the way we're doing things around here anymore. What is this NFL? It's like, it is a what have you done for me lately league. But for Tomlin, how many Super Bowls have you won for me lately? None. Get the hell out of town. Him stepping away from coaching as his messaging is interesting. That means he's on a microphone. Football just got better. Football got so much better that we got Tomlin on an open mic. Like, I can't stress that enough. Just as somebody who has paid attention to Mike Tomlin speaking for a very long time, I think we used to run a segment just Tomlin speaking, didn't we?
Yes. Tomlinism.
Yeah. I mean, Tomlinisms or something like that. Yeah.
Tomlinisms, I think, is what Tomlin's shit is called. But we used to run a segment whenever we were just on YouTube, we're in the old office, where we would just pull a random Tomlin clip. Had not listened to it. Let's just pull this shit and see what it is. And he would just drop some gem in there. It would just be some ridiculous TV-like, movie-like gem. And it's like now he's going to be focusing on that and working on that. Plus hanging, chilling. Has to be in studio. I don't think in the booth would be great. But, like, football got better today. Football got better today if Mike Tomlin's becoming a national, kind of voice for the league, for the sport as a whole. That's crazy.
Do we put Sig back on the springboard now?
He's from Pittsburgh.
Is this the
From
job
Pittsburgh.
Sig's not leaving.
Are you sure?
Nope. Not sure about anything. I am not sure, but man,
Nope.
That'd be wild. Would you pay him $25 million a year and try to lure him away from Indiana? I don't know.
Well, like in Harbaugh, like do they even like we're talking about Harbaugh as if he's locked in, but does Harbaugh look at this like? Shit, I've been on the other sideline for a long time, and the Steelers are a place that they care more about football than damn near any other city.
No.
But why not?
No.
Like, I'm just saying.
No.
Like you're not going to bring in the guy who's a part of who's part of the Baltimore team just to at least hear what he has to say and what they did over there and what he thinks that you could have done better, and because it's all about gathering information, right?
All right, boys, I got to go. I do. I have to go.
Yeah, business. We got you.
It's 2:23. I got some at 2:30. This is wild that this all happened. Congrats to the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Feels like you guys got what you wanted, right, Tone?
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah. I had majority.
I think all of them.
Yeah.
Really?
Fresh start.
Yeah, especially after last night.
Yeah, turn the page.
Especially after last night. I think it became a pretty big, okay, we're not doing this. This is not what we're doing. You got to remember, Pittsburgh is a blue-collar town. Okay, blue-collar people. Talking a lot of Italians, a lot of Irish people. These people, pretty emotional group. Okay, and they also hold on to grudges. Okay, these are people that will remember everything. You got elephant brains all over the place in Pittsburgh, okay? A lot of that. This is just the demo of humans. So whenever things start piling up, and it's like, oh, we're doing the same thing again. We're doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. It's like inevitably everybody's going to buy in. It kind of feels like it got to that in Pittsburgh. Beating Baltimore with the missed kick kind of had a moment where it's like, okay, we're back. Holy hell, maybe this guy does have some magic. And then a slaughtering on primetime in a way. It's like, nope, just like we fucking thought it was. That's kind of, I feel like that is how it went. Kevin, do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it all went. So good for Tomlin not having to deal with that anymore. Because if you're this person and it's all going this way against you, like good for you not having to deal with that anymore too. That's a life change that I think he's going to welcome. The sidelines will miss him, but the sport is going to thrive with him on a microphone. So I'm very pumped and thankful that that's happening. And congrats to him on a hell of a run. And thank you, Tomlin, for all the happiness you brought my family, my friends, my hometown, and then now. Let's see what's next. The source was right, though, I guess.
Yeah. Good source. Keep that source around.
Maybe we will.
Can't believe Joe Hadley knew.
Maybe.
That.
Are we going to start being an insider too because of all these journalism's people doing what they're doing?
Might not have a choice.
Good. Just the eyes. Good gimmick.
I know. All right, I'll see you guys. I appreciate you all. AJ, thank you for traveling. Hope you take this thing home in a beautiful fashion.
Of course, man. Have fun over there.
I gotta go do one of these. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we love it. We love everything you're doing. We love what you're doing.
It'd be great, though.
Love it. You guys got great ideas. I don't ever do this because I live in Indianapolis. So by choice. All media people are in New York and LA. Not saying that's where I'm at right now, but that's where all media people are. And they all have happy hours and they all run into each other on such a regular basis. And I never do any of that. And I love it. I do. I don't think anybody would necessarily say that's the right way to go about building a media business. But for me, I enjoy it. Every once in a while, I got to do it for the good of the program, for the good of the boys. And today's a really cool day for Pittsburgh, for us, for the league. And the divisional round is set. I cannot wait for Saturday and Sunday. I cannot fucking wait. Bills, Broncos, let's go, dude. 4:30 on CBS. Number one, top 5 defense all time. Denver Broncos taking on Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen going to be an alien? Probably. San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks. Oh, we've seen this a few times already, have we not? Yeah. Seattle won. Oh, well, now 75% of the bets are in San Francisco. Early shot to DraftKings for the numbers. Then Sunday, Texans, Patriots, Rams, Bears.
Oh.
Wow. Whew. And then national championship on Monday. Oh, boy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boys, don't get too much dipper burn, okay? Don't get too excited. There's things happening. There's great things happening, and we're going to try to enjoy them all. All right, boys, I will see you tomorrow when I'm back in there.
Sounds good.
All right, dude.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Enjoy it. All right. That game, I also want to talk about before we pop off. Indiana, Miami. Oh. Debo, what's the final score?
Why would we do this right now on
I'm just asking for the final
Wednesday.
Score before I
Tuesday.
pop off.
Oh, Tuesday.
Final
Excuse
score,
me.
I gotta,
You don't have to tell me the final score.
I got to.
Okay, what's the line?
Game, I get it.
What's the line?
The line's 7.5.
line's 8.5.
Right? 8.5 is moved.
Is that disrespectful to Miami?
Very, I think.
And everyone, all the bets are on IU.
Yeah, we're 9.5 point dogs.
Wait, they're 9.5 point dogs, and the bets are on IU.
8.5.
8.5. I'm saying we were 9.5 point dogs against Ohio
82%.
State, and that's the common opponent.
Well, is it just because Indiana's been running through everybody? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, but after the shellacking in the Rose Bowl and then what happened in the Peach Bowl, I mean, I guess I get it, but I mean, you also see what Miami has been able to do on this run as well. Like I said, what I go back to is a common opponent, Ohio State in the Big Ten championship for Indiana, and then the Cotton Bowl for Miami. And dogfight in Indiana, I feel like we were there. I feel like Miami kind of bullied Ohio State late. So we'll see. We got to play the game on the grass, but a lot of people are excited about this one.
It's also interesting. We'll see what the split ends up being, but the line is set like this game is being played at a neutral site. Like it's still this is a Miami home game, you know. So we'll see.
What's it going to feel like?
Who's going to be there? Have you seen the ticket price?
Yeah.
How does anybody come into the game?
It's
all
nuts.
these big games, Super Bowl, national championship, it's never as many
turns
fans.
corporate.
Yeah,
the problem is it turns corporate because corporate people.
We've never seen
we haven't had a team like Indiana in this. Where like people legitimately
we haven't had a home national championship.
Yeah, exactly. Both ways.
So I think each school gets an allotment. I can't remember how many it is for each school, and then the rest of the tickets are out on the private market. I know IU has given out their allotment to their season ticket holders. Miami has not given out their allotment yet. I've heard
offered their allotment at like face value?
Or at face value.
Oh, face value.
And I have a speculation why, but I'm not sure. I don't. They're worried that the Miami fan base is going to sell their tickets to IU fans. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
I think it'll happen.
It will be weird if there's more Indiana fans.
I just hope it's real college ball fans in there.
Yeah.
And I expect the Miami fans to show up, but looking at the prices, and I don't know how that all plays out, but I just hope both sides, I hope it's real fans in there, because like Comment said, you get to the Super Bowl, there's national championships, and you get a bunch of corporate people, and it's
that
just
have
not,
no rooting interest. Like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, it's not the same. So I hope we get a real college environment down there in Hard Rock.
We have so far.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect Indiana to travel. They've proven it. They went all the way to Pasadena. Pasadena, we know, is a shit show getting in and out of that place. They went to Atlanta, packed it out, legitimately 95 to 5%. Yeah. That was the biggest disparity that we've probably seen as we've done college football playoff games for the past few years. That was the biggest Indiana showed up. So I would expect Indiana to be there, but I mean, $5,000 as the average.
And imagine if you've been following them all along, too.
Yeah.
Like this is your third game you're going to of flights, hotels, and then ticket prices.
Yeah. And we know how it is getting in and out of Hard Rock. Like, it's a pain in the ass. That's why I could see Miami fans not going, just because it's like, look, that place is a fucking nightmare. Okay, I ain't going in there. All right, they're at home. That's their advantage. They don't need fucking fans too. And then same thing for Indiana. I would assume they're going to go, just because of the fact that Indiana, they probably look at it as we might never ever get back here for the rest of time. Whereas Miami could also say that, but
it's been a long time.
As long as it's a good game, dude. That 8.5 scares me.
Do we know how it's work? So for Miami, are they going to go stay in like the team hotel and do all that like the week of like
I've heard
if they were on a way to?
They're practicing in their normal facilities and doing that stuff, but I would assume they're going to try to keep it as similar to a home game as possible. And as far as the fans go, if they can get in, they can afford it. The Miami fans are definitely going to show it because you talk about like hierarchy in sports down in Miami. Like Miami football is up there at the top. Miami Heat, obviously, with the championships they've won. Panthers, it's hockey still in Florida, so they're still growing, obviously, back-to-back champs. The Dolphins, you know what that is right now.
But this is the game. To your point, this is the game. This is like, hey, the use back. Like, this would be the one.
Yes.
Like
if
in
you're attached
documentary.
at all.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of attachment to Miami, you're going to want to come back for this game,
especially
all these alumni.
Like our age, like
goodness.
The last time that they were good, like we were kind of very, young. So you're getting back there. We're the, kind of group age-wise that have the money and the means to get out there. Maybe bring your kid, bring your friends. You got a chance to go up against the number one team in the country, and you're underdogs in your own stadium by over a touchdown. Like you've seen all the legends that have been coming back every week for the Hurricanes. So I expect every alumni that can get in there will be down there. It should be a great environment.
Think about that. Think if you're one of some of the Miami, I don't know, execs or whatever working the ticket office, how many alumni you have asking to come back, asking for free tickets, sideline passes, or just be able to buy tickets. Yeah, here you go. Here, $7,500. You can get a top row. Like it's gonna be interesting to see the atmosphere once we get there.
Like Connor said, I hope because the game we had in Miami last year, Notre Dame Penn State, that was arguably maybe the best game of the college football playoff last year. So I don't know. I mean, like, it was awesome at the Peach Bowl, but, I mean, fuck, that game was over 10 minutes into it. You know? So it's like, hopefully we just get a good competitive one that goes, till the very end.
Well, to your point, too, like, the Natties haven't been as close. Like, you can say the Ohio State Notre Dame game was close, but it really wasn't for 3 quarters. Yeah. And then, the year before that, Michigan rolled Washington. Yep. And the year before that was the shit show. Georgia beating TCU by 50 fucking points. So, like, the build-up to the Natty has always been top tier. It's the Natty itself, and it does feel like this year's different. Like, everything we just talked about and just the teams in general. It feels like it's not the normal. It's not the teams we've been watching play.
No. Georgia, Alabama, and all this stuff. Yeah.
For both schools, like, this is a storybook finish or the nightmare finish. And that's why it feels like the game is just, like, heightened even more this
all the
year.
connections, too. Like with Mendoza going back to Miami, the
Miami coordinator from Miami.
Teammates with his dad.
Everybody.
Chris Ball and his dad.
All the different relationships, man.
You're muted.
Oh, no.
Heatherman was Siggs' DC at
Sig gave huge comments saying he's one of the best football minds there is. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chris Ball didn't offer Mendoza a scholarship.
Mm-hmm. This is rounding up to be an amazing game.
I mean, Reuben Bain Jr., I'm pretty sure, just put out a bunch of highlights of when they were in high school of him sacking Mendoza when Mendoza played for Christopher Columbus High School.
That was Albert.
That was Albert.
Okay. Yeah, he was killing him. That was Miami Central against Columbus.
Hey, no, it was Elbow.
Yeah, it was Elbow.
Yeah,
Elbow's kind of been just making his presence known. I'm excited about his future.
Waiting in the weeds.
Hope he sticks around.
Yeah, I hope so, too.
I wonder how that goes, how those conversations go.
I mean, Indiana's already got, like, the best team next year. Sig's got every good guy in the transfer portal.
Really?
Yeah, just every day.
Just
loading up on this guy's number 2 target in the portal, number 3 target in the portal, number 5 target in the portal.
IU.
Yeah, where are they all going? IU.
It's amazing. Recruits itself. Once you win games, it recruits itself.
Bingo.
That's how you recruit. You just win every single game. Don't look back, right?
I mean, they'd be the
pretty good at that.
first team ever to go 16-0, I believe. First college team.
Yeah.
Because obviously college football play more games.
Yeah.
Like Yale from like the 1800s.
Oh, yeah.
That was when they were playing like 5-minute games and beating teams 5-0.
And every team was within
didn't have
2
a forward
miles.
pass in the playbook.
No black guys on the field.
Yeah, well,
doesn't count.
True.
Be a different brand of football to watch. But that being said, we will be on the call Monday night. Obviously, 7:30 Eastern. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to get down there with you boys. With that being said, we're going to wrap this sucker up. I believe Pat will be back here on this desk tomorrow. But yeah, man, Mike Tomlin, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, right, Tone?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get across first. Yes, I'm excited for the future and stuff like that, but when you're a head coach for 19 years in a place, that's insane.
You're doing something right. You're there 19 years.
To be in a playoff race every single year, that's insane. Like, he we never experienced losing. I mean, you lost in the playoffs and stuff like that, but like you never experienced.
You were never terrible.
No,
you never
you never experienced
season's
a season
over.
where it's ever until week 18. So that's awesome being a fan. The last however many years has been tough because you kind of like you're tired of losing the playoffs and the jokes about the over 500 record get old or whatever. But overall, I mean, an incredible coaching career in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, we all appreciate your time. 19 years, you're doing something right. It's really tough in the NFL. As Mike McCarthy says, to win consistently in the NFL.
Sustain success. The hardest thing to do in the NFL.
It's very true. I believe him. I agree with him right there. All right, boys, here we go. Ready? Bring it in. Everyone in the back, here we go. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
See ya.